And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, to our first edition, our first time here with the K-Cup Korea edition. I'm of course your host, VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to a brand new event. Shout out to Kanoya, shout out to TKL, shout out to the French community. Again, they're the people behind the Monday night weeklies, and also behind this event, behind the K-Cup as well. Here we go as we are jumping into our quarterfinals match. I say quarterfinals because exclamation mark be in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. The bracket is stacked, the bracket is live, but it's a bit of a smaller bracket here as we do quickly switch on over. Now, originally we were going to be covering SHIN versus Jumi. Despite the name of the event is centralized and catered towards the Korean scene, kind of like KSL, but is also open to all players. Kind of like KSL as well, where KSL is open to foreigners. Likewise, K-Cup is open to foreigners as well. And we were going to be jumping into SHIN versus Jumi, and I was messaging Jumi. I was like, Pappy, where are you? What's going on? I'm ready. And Jimmy's like, oh, I didn't know I could play. Like, Jimmy was like, oh, I signed up and I thought it was just for Koreans, so I just left, and yeah, there you go. So unfortunately there was a walkover. Jimmy was otherwise unavailable, so he wasn't able to go up against SHIN. So SHIN gets a walkover in the first round, and we are jumping into our ZVP. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player, also from South Korea, representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is SHIN. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series as we jump into this best of 3. And again, exclamation mark Funada Jumi. Funada Jumi, papi. As again, Jumi, he didn't realize that everything that the event was taking place, that he was actually able to play. It's I think he just like signed up just for the lols, and he thought he was going to be removed. It's like, oh, I can play. Oh, well, I mean, I already left the house. I'm already gone. Oh, okay, never mind. But it's all good. At least we have our next round. Likewise, when it comes to the other competitors in the tournament, we do have players like Creator, Percival, ByuN, Rex, Cure, Solar. Again, we have a fully stacked round of 8. It's going to be best of 3s into best of 5s into a best of 7 grand finals. Let's go. Let us go. And again, of course, shout out to DKL and Kanoya. They're also casting in French over on their own respective channels. I believe they are covering Solar versus Cure and Percival versus Creator. So the other 2 big matches are currently being covered in French. For now, though, getting into our standard opener. Likewise, when it comes to the map pool of this event, I mean, I should emphasize, welcome one and all to Abyssal Reef, a map that I have not casted on in a month. In quite some time. Abyssal Reef is a bit of a rarity nowadays. It is a ladder map, and this tournament is using ladder maps. The reason why I say this is because every other online tournament, KSL, Pigastar Monday, Sparkling, Tuna Cup, Tenacious Turtle, Tussle, Water TV Monday, Monday Night Weeklies, they all have gotten rid of the old maps. I'm referring to Abyssal Reef, Neon Violet Square, and King's Cove. I don't think a single online Open Cup actually features those maps, so we actually haven't cast on those maps in quite some time. So it's a little bit refreshing, I will say. It's a little bit refreshing jumping into them here, and very quickly we might even find out why we no longer feature them. We'll see. For now, ooh, Twilight Council opener, herO spicing it up here. Hello, Shark. But we do have a Twilight Council opener. This is a little bit more unorthodox. This is very aggressive. Typically, we expect to see Stargate openers, especially on larger maps. Welcome to Abyssal Reef. Abyssal Reef is the 2nd largest map in the map pool, 2nd largest only to Neon Violet Square. Because of that, on top of that, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th base all are very easy to maintain, to take, and to settle into. So we often see macro games. We often see late game split map scenarios on Abyssal Reef, which is why herO going into Glaives is at left field. And this is where I'm worried for SHIN. SHIN, his scouts, I mean, there's no scout at the moment. SHIN going for his 3rd expansion. Hatchcast pull into a 3rd. SHIN is happily joining up, and SHIN has no idea what's going on as we have Glaive Adepts. more gateways being thrown down, pulling out of gas. So it's going to be 4 gate claves out of herO. Now this is not an all-in. herO, he will be expanding behind this. He will be taking a 3rd base, but SHIN, if he doesn't scout this ahead of time, then he won't throw down the Roach Warren. If he doesn't throw down the Roach Warren, then he's going to have a tough time defending. Not impossible. You can defend with banelings, and you can defend with a mass amount of lings if SHIN doesn't overdrone. But the problem is, as we mentioned, this map has a reputation. This map has some tendencies, has a meta to it. Very often here it's all about macro, and oh my god, he gets in. Whew. He does slip in. The wall was not a herO. The wall was not a wall. The wall was open. SHIN, he slips in. SHIN, he sees everything, and now you can see immediately Roach Warren. Immediate Roach Warren, immediate Evo Chamber. He's walling up the ramp here at the natural. He is going to be pumping out as many links as he can into roaches, taking his gases to be able to afford those roaches. So far, good scout, good reaction by SHIN. Whew, that could have been a lot worse. that could have been game. That could have been game then and there. Meanwhile, shout out in the chat to Chileno Singaporean. Ga, papi, ga, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos. Good to see you once again. Chileno, papi. Good to see you as always. As here we go, the adepts have arrived here, making his way up the ramp. But again, I believe, is this a full wall? It's not? Not a full wall. Adepts, they do dive into the main, into the natural, I should say. Links are keeping up. So far, so good. herO making his way up the ramp, at least trying to. But again, roach production has begun. We have 8 roaches on the way. And SHIN, he's ready for the surround. herO cannot commit. Not yet. He's warping in an extra wave of adepts. Now, as a reminder, we did mention this is not an all-in. herO's expanding. herO, he's expanding, he's transitioning. He should be making immortals back at home to get ready for the roach counterattack. Roaches are revealed. And so far, no damage from herO. And again, he's going to need those defensive immortals. Until then, adepts are going to be zoned away. One adept may just barely go down. Adepts, they shade in towards the main. Lings are in position. He commits to the shade. Lings, they get a decent surround here on those adepts. Adepts, though, they're just fighting lings. Roaches that do rotate over. But adepts, yeah, they're dealt with. They're dealt with. The surround is good enough. And SHIN, he will shut down the adepts. Likewise, we do see the prism into the natural, into the 3rd base. Alas, gets a couple of worker kills, but not good enough. 4 drones go down. 4 drones for how many adepts? 15. 15 adepts for 4 workers. SHIN, he shuts down the aggression, and back at home, herO is vulnerable. herO, he is making immortals, that is true, but herO, he lost everything, which means these links can counterattack, which means this 3rd base is exposed. So SHIN is moving out across the map. Back at home, SHIN is droning. He's droning up, he's saturating his bases, getting his 3rd base up and running. Likewise, going to be taking up, getting into upgrades, +1 range or +1 melee. They're both going to be available. Lings, they get eyes on the army. They don't quite commit, but at least he confirms, okay, it's going to be an immortal follow-up. There's going to be sentries alongside this as well. SHIN is getting a better idea of what herO is up to. And SHIN, if you recall what I just said, I was like, oh, he's just going to drone and tech. SHIN is not droning. SHIN, he is not droning. After shutting down the adepts, he feels ahead enough to end the game, to go for his own counter all-in. So SHIN is getting ready for an all-in. Now again, the reasoning for this all-in from the side of SHIN is because he did so well against the adepts. The adepts were not worth it, 100%. The adepts were not worth it. herO is behind. Because of that, you can see herO, he's pumping out as many probes as he can. He's defending with a handful of immortals. He's skipping warp-ins. herO is cutting corners to recover, which means he's vulnerable. He's vulnerable to an all-in, and SHIN, he's coming in. He's coming in with Mass Ravager, with Mass Lings. And the goal here is to break herO and punish him for the failed glaive adept aggression. And here comes SHIN. And I mean, this is the army. This is the army. 1 immortal, 3 sentries. We have side defense on the way. The army gets spotted, and SHIN is coming in for the kill. Nice force fields, buying time. Lings, they lock down the sentries. They lock down one of the immortals. And Prism comes in to try to reinforce. Does call pickup. Does save the first immortal. Very nice control, saving the other immortal as well. It does save the immortals, does pull away. And with good enough control here, can herO hold on? Ooh, as the bios do connect. Shield obviously going down. We have reinforcements coming, and the Ravagers are exposed. But they still maintain themselves. Likewise, down to 2 immortals. This is the army, just 2 immortals. We're going for another warp in. Show us the bios. Oh, not quite. And not quite available, but regardless, the base is falling. Yeah, the base is falling. We do have a 3rd immortal coming in. With that 3rd immortal, herO, he can clean this up. Yeah, with the power 3 immortals and with the prism, of course, with micro. herO, he juggles well against this. herO, he will kill all of these roaches. But while these Ravagers are buying time, Lings, they kill the base. Lings, they kill the expansion. SHIN doesn't straight up kill his opponent, but he does cripple the economy. Looking at the Intel stat, he gets 20 probe kills and it gets the Nexus. So some decent damage here by SHIN. He will lose all of his Ravagers in the process. herO is going for his own counterattack, but again, an impressive hold is what I will say. A lesser player would have died. A lesser player would have lost their Immortals, right? Like, really nice juggling there by herO, juggling those Immortals, preserving them for as long as he could, was able to barely defend, survive, but now the pendulum swings from one player to the other. herO, he needs to do some counter damage as SHIN is now droning up. Now, we're in a really weird game state, just because everything is late for SHIN. Like, SHIN, he has no roach speed. He has no roach speed. He just starts +1 range. I think he just canceled he starts at +1 melee. I think he just canceled +1 range. He's going for mutas. Now, mutas are a good way to make up for the lack of upgrades. We'll get there as Adepts, they get into the mineral line. 6 drones going to be going down. Very nice damage. 7 drones even. herO, he's fighting back. herO, he's fighting back, and SHIN is trying to keep up. We can see herO is rushing into Sky Toss. Again, herO, he's forced to be defensive, so he's rushing into a Fleet Beacon, Stargate, +1 air attack, Sky Toss is on the way. Now, when it comes to the Muta switch, as we were trying to get into here, right now, the Roach Ravager army, the Ling Roach Ravager, it's not ideal because of the lack of all these upgrades, but Mutas, they don't really care about your upgrades. Mutas are a little bit of a different unit. They have a lot of micro potential, they have a lot of harassment potential, so going into Mutas and 0/0 Mutas have potential to wreak havoc and get a bunch of economic damage. The Void Ray gets scattered, so SHIN can always react with Corruptors once the Sky Toss gets underway. But right now it's all about the mutas, and it's all about getting economic damage and maintaining an economic lead. The goal here for SHIN is to cripple the economy and to make sure that herO doesn't recover, doesn't stabilize, while he catches up on upgrades with, with melee upgrades, with roach speed, everything else. And we do have Tempest production underway. Tempests are underway. herO, he does not scout the tech. He does not know that there's a Spire. For all he knows, it could be a Hydrogen. There could be Hive tech on the horizon. Mutas are going to be moving out. They do hug the right-hand side. Going for the Prism. Prism goes down, but this will give herO time to react, to respond. herO, he does warp in back at home. You can see him getting in position. Yeah, with his Void Rays, with his Stalkers, what little he has. Mutas, they run into the voids. So far, herO, he's holding on. Now, this is at least keeping herO pinned, and this is allowing SHIN to drone, to take more expansions. SHIN is getting up to almost 80 workers. So these Mutas are getting some value here. And SHIN, he's moving in. He's moving in, he's maxing out. He got up to almost 4 base saturation with 76 workers. Knocking down the rocks and going in for the kill. And we'll see if herO can pull off this defense. Now, Storm is not done. If Storm was finished, herO, he could deal with this. He could deal with this, but there is no Storm. He needs more time. Oh, Lings, they collapse in. They're going for the expansion. Okay, he's taking a lot of damage, but oh, SHIN, he is deterred. I mean, he sees all those High Templar. Little does he know that there is no Storm. Now would be the time to fight. Oof, Storm is now done. Yeah, Storm is now done. SHIN, he has to respect it. He has to back off. Hive is on the way, and herO holds. herO, he holds on, and now herO, he is stabilizing. I would say that these Mutas did not do enough. The Mutas, there was a lot of pressure on them, and we were hoping for some economic damage, but they did not do any economic damage at all. You could argue, oh, they contained herO, but herO was contained anyway. So herO's in a pretty good position here. SHIN, across the map, he has a Lingbane Roach Ravager. This is a mid-tier army. This does not scale well into a long game, but what this army can do is break the expansion. It's going to be costly here, but it would be worth it if SHIN can break either the 4th base or the 3rd base. Meanwhile, Corruptors, they do catch one Void Ray. They do catch a Void Ray. SHIN, he does rotate towards left-hand side. And again, SHIN, he has potential to break an expansion. I say potential because likewise Storm can annihilate this as well. They can shut down the Bailings. Speaking of, making his way towards that center expansion. Where the storms, nice force field, very nice force fields. Oh my god, yeah, the force fields, they shut down the Baylings. Baylings are coming from behind. Up the surround. Yeah, it takes down the High Templar. Massive surround there, massive flank. Baylings from behind. And with that herO, he will hold on, but it's going to cost him every single High Templar. Ay. That was 2, I want to say 4, because he forced a morph into the Archon. Now, what's important? It did cost him all the High Templar. True, he survives with 1. 1 High Templar survives, but the base lives. The base, and more importantly, the economy. So, we spoke earlier about herO stabilizing, and he did. SHIN, if you recall, we were referring how he can break an expansion. He didn't. He did not break the expansion, did not kill the Nexus, did not get the mineral line. herO, he is now holding his own. He is now kind of even things up. I believe he did lose his Tempest, though. Yeah, he lost the Tempest to the Corruptors. So he has no Sky Toss. Without Sky Toss, if he was able to preserve those Tempests, then I would favor herO, but the Tempest count was reset. So because of that, SHIN, his ground army still has potential. He can still pop off. As we do see SHIN getting into the main base, going for the Nexus. Likewise, Baylings rolling in the left-hand side. They split up, going for the mineral lines. And herO, he doesn't react. Yeah, doesn't pull away. 13 probes go down. Likewise, SHIN does hit the center expansion as well. And herO is struggling to defend here on multiple locations at once. His army is just not very mobile. Can he get the Nexus? Oh, can he get it? He cannot. Ooh. As the base survives. Base does survive. SHIN, he killed the main. So he got the mineral line here at the 4th, and he killed the main Nexus. Nice pickoffs. Likewise, herO, his army is still very Stalker based. And because of all these Corruptors, Link's coming in for another run by. And here he's committed. He is committed here. Lings, they hit the expansion. herO pushing in, he's all in. He's all in. Now, what do we have to defend here? No Ultras. 2 Ultras on the way. herO, he may just end the game here and now. He's breaking down the expansions. Corruptors, they don't shoot down. There's no Broodlords. There's a decent amount of Spine Crawlers here. And there are some of those Ultras on the way, but the Ultras are lacking upgrades. Yeah, Baylings roll in. Oh my god, massive connections. The High Templar, they're going down. Yeah, he had, I want to say, like 6 storms in the bank, and not a single storm connects. herO caught with his pants down. Whew. Ultras are trickling in. It's still close. We have Zealots coming in to reinforce. I mean, imagine this army with 6 more storms, but GG gets called. He has too much anyway, and herO, he breaks through and takes a lead. Whew. GG, well played. herO does take a lead. herO is 1 game away from taking the series. Whew, very intense back and forth here. Again, SHIN, he had a decent start when he broke the 3rd expansion, when he was able to cripple the economy early on, but as we mentioned, SHIN did make the choice to go into the Spire, right? He made the choice to tech into Mutas. That was an expensive decision, and we did emphasize, or at least we tried to emphasize, that the Mutas did not pay for themselves. They did not pay for themselves, and herO did stabilize when he defended against the first big ground attack at his expansion, where he was able to preserve his economy and preserve his bases. Towards the end, we saw that SHIN finally did some economic damage, but herO, he already had an army, so he was forced all in. So by the time SHIN was killing workers, herO, he just went for the all in anyway. He already built up his army. GG. GG, well played. How did herO win? If I failed to explain that, I do apologize. I tried to emphasize the moment that that herO stabilized and that herO recovered. But here we go, we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Amygdala, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, leading the series 1-0. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg. Down in the series, we'll see if he can recover, representing Gaimin Gladiators, it is SHIN. We go. Whew. So we are getting into game number 2. Because he's a wizard. Well, I mean, again, Shin, he did kind of make some decisions that made him more committed. As a reminder, he did delay his upgrades, he delayed his tech in favor of Muta play. Likewise, he was hyper committed on Lingbane Roach Ravager. If you remember, at the time, we were trying to emphasize that Lingbane Roach Ravager is a very mid-tier army that does not scale well into a longer game. So he had to do damage, and if you recall, we were trying to emphasize that he had to break a base, and he didn't do so. He didn't pull that off. So when herO did recover. And now we're getting into game number 2. We're going to be loading into Amygdala, another large map in the map pool. And from here, we'll see how we do approach this. Now, as a reminder, herO did go for a Twilight Council opener last game. He went Twilight Council into Glaive of Depths, which failed to do damage. I do not expect Glaive of Depths builds here in game 2. Not after game 1. herO did eventually recover, but part of that was also on Shin. So we're leaning towards a more standard opener this time from herO. Go. I think an easy way to sum up that last game, if you want a one-line sum up, it's the soup lies, Pat. The soup does lie. Just always remember that. As one army is not quite like the other, despite what the numbers say. So now, as I mentioned, Stargate opener here out of herO. It's going to be Stargate into most likely Oracle based on the rally. We'll see if he does decide to open up Void Ray instead. That is also a viable option. So you can open up Void Ray, can open up Oracle. There it is. Oracle is on the way. So something more standard. From here, we should be seeing an Oracle, a third expansion, taking up into +1 and Blink. Now, we'll see if herO throws down an earlier Twilight Council. If that is the case, then he may go for a 3-base all-in. That is not uncommon on Amygdala. Meanwhile, Shin does slip into the main base, and he will get a full scout. We'll get a full scout. Shin is aware of the opener. He's aware of the oracles. Back across the map, herO diving in between the bases. Doesn't quite commit in. Doesn't commit in. So far, 3 drones go down. Nice damage here by a herO. Does pull away. And we're soon getting to the point where Shin can throw down his tech. In the next minute or so, we should be seeing either an Evo Chamber, Roach Warren, or a Lair. We'll see what Shin goes for and how he will approach this. Whether he goes Ling Hydra, whether he goes for a Roach base opener, or even just rushes into Hydra tech. herO back at home. Ooh, that is going to be an earlier Twilight Council. Okay. First sign of aggression out of herO. Now, when it comes to this Twilight Council timing, this is a Twilight Council before Forge, so this looks like early Blink. And herO's quite fond of this. This does allow him to be more aggressive earlier, and this can lead into no gases here at the 3rd base, a gateway explosion, into a 3-base, 8-gate all-in, sometimes up to 10 gateways. Now, he's still getting the later Forge, so this tells us that he most likely is going to be going for a lower gate count. Oh, stasis in the main. Does barely connect, no! Does connect, second stasis on the way as well, and Shinny doesn't respond. Oh, late reaction, late response. And drones are getting caught, likewise diving on the queens. A little bit greedy here from herO, he will lose one of the oracles. He slaps 2 queens, but that was a bit of an expensive trade. Losing an oracle, does pull away, taking more hull damage. Oh, losing a second oracle. herO getting a little bit careless towards the end. Does get careless. He has to rebuild that oracle. He has to replenish. Likewise, how many gates are we on? So far, I believe 4. Yeah, just a 4-gate setup. Meanwhile, it is going to be Evo Chamber alongside the Lair. It was Lair first before Evo Chamber, so we're going into Hydras. From here, we could even see +1 range and a commitment into Mass Hydra. Gas is being taken, 4th base on the way. It looks like Shin is droning. Looks like Shin, he's droning up. He's not being overly aggressive. He's getting ready for a longer game. herO Blink is almost done. It's getting there. Once Blink finishes, herO can push. So until then, herO taking a more defensive stance. Until Blink does kick in. Likewise, yeah, +1 range on the way. And we'll see if Shin drones up that 4th base. Speaking of that 4th, oh, it's gonna go down. Lings are across the map. Does Shin have enough at home to defend? Does hit that 3rd base. Gets a decent round on the Adepts. Not bad. Yeah, but he won't save this. He will not save the expansion. Massive pickoff. He needs that 4th, and the 4th is denied. And again, this aggression is earlier than normal because of the earlier Twilight Council. So an earlier timing here from herO catches Shin off guard. And if Shin can't get a 4th base, I mean, he's going to be overwhelmed. He needs a 4th desperately. Lings are trying to catch herO out. herO catching more Overlords. Ooh, catching a lot of Overlords even. You can always blink over to the other side. He's taking gases. He's taking up into Charge, Storm. Here, he's not going for the all-in. He is going to eventually take a 4th base. But so far, doing very well with these Stalkers. Trading well. Runs back to expand. Meanwhile, Shin is taking up into Hive. He's got his Lurker Gen on the way. The Hive has begun getting into, or rushing into Lurker Tech, of course. But he does need that 4th base. He needs specifically the 4th base gases to afford Lurkers. And his 4th has been delayed. And likewise, the players expand towards each other. We have Shin towards the top side and herO right next door. So herO, this is going to allow him to reinforce and be hyper aggressive. And I'm not so sure if Shin can defend. Meanwhile, nice Ling run by. Gets into the main base. You're going for the Temple Archives. herO, he has to pull the boys. He has to pull the boys who will defend. And it looks like he will save the Temple Archive. Storm is done. With Storm finishing, here comes the push. And again, herO's win condition is to break the 4th. And as reinforcements, they arrive so quickly. Here comes the Storm. Yeah, Storm has arrived. Massive Storm here on the Hydras. There's 1 Storm left. 1 Storm remaining. Oh, this time doesn't quite connect though. Nice split set by Shin. Does split well, but the Hydras are exposed. There are no Lings. We need Lings to support. And these are expensive losses. Yeah, he gets overwhelmed. He gets overwhelmed. Here he blinks in, takes down all the Hydras, and he will break Shin before Lurker Tech. Yeah, Lurkers are a little bit too late. The Queens are falling. The Hydras as well. The 4th base is going to go down. And even if Shin holds here, he cannot afford Lurkers. Not anymore. As he's barely surviving. From here, he can just keep linking. He can just keep linking forward, keep diving in. 16 workers go down. There's still more storms left over. And GG gets called as herO cannot be stopped, and herO will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played, herO. He will claim the series. Again, an intense series here, an intense game 1 and game 2. Shin, he definitely had his own strong moments in game 1, but here in game 2, herO, he was in full control. It happens in both ZVT and ZVP, but losing that first 4th base is brutal. I'm referring to the cancellation of the 4th towards the south side with the first blink timing. The first blink timing of herO. Like, that was, I don't want to say game then and there, but it set the pace. It set the pace and it set herO ahead. Just because herO had better production, more economy. Again, for a Zerg player to lose that 4th base, it slows everything down. And on top of that, because the players were forced to expand, or I should say, Shin was forced to take the northern base, and herO expanded towards Shin, it meant that even without a Warp Prism, even without a proxy gateway, he can just reinforce. He can just warp in at his nexus and just step on over here to reinforce his main army, and he just did not stop. Did not stop. Could not stop. GG. GG, well played. herO, he will claim it, and herO will advance on to the semifinals. And it looks like we have our first semifinals ready for us here. It's going to be a PvP between herO and Creator. Let's go. Let us go. As we switch our scenes over, Creator takes down Percival 2-0, and here we have our next matchup. So it's going to be herO versus Creator. Meanwhile, Rex takes down Stek 2-0. Rex is up against ByuN. Kior currently mid-series against Solar. I believe they're being covered by another caster. I believe they're being covered by TKL. So I believe TKL has that series. And again, we are focusing on our series, on that PvP. Let's go. Here we go. As we need a moment to set up. Beautiful. Okay, so we're jumping into our semis now. As a reminder, these are going to be best of 5s, best of 5 semifinals, and a best of 7 grand finals. Oh boy. So we're going to have, even though it's going to be a smaller brackets, we're going to have a lot more games available. So we're going to be jumping into that best of 5. We'll get there. Solar's up 1. Oh, there you go. There you go. Again, if you want to tune into the other streams, check out TKL and Kanoya. They're both casting in French. And I believe Inu is about to step in. I believe Inu is about to step in as the Korean caster. You're an animal. True, true. But again, so far, strong showing by herO. The PvP is going to be underway. I believe there's no rules about holding the semis, so we might be able to catch a little bit of the lower semifinals. It all depends on how the matches line up. So, depends on how fast our series is and how slow the other matches are. Ideally, it lines up and we get to cover everything, but we'll see. We'll see. We will see. Otherwise, we're going to be going on a short break. We're going to be going on a short break here. When we come back, we will have the upper semis. We'll have that PvP. So take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, and massage your marines, and hydrate all of your hydras. We're going to be back soon with herO versus Creator. See you then. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the very first edition of the K-Cup, the K-Cup Korean edition. We are now in the semi-finals, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of King's Cove, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss from South Korea. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the other South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is creator. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get our Gamba going. Let's go, let's go. And again, it's been quite some time since we featured a map or featured a game on King's Cove. I mentioned previously, but most tournaments have gotten rid of all these older maps. I'm referring to Abyssal Reef, King's Cove, and Neon Violet Square. But the K-Cup here is still featuring them, so I guess it's a little bit refreshing. We're able to see some of these ladder maps, and we'll see what kind of games we get out of them. Now, when it comes to the three maps that were otherwise replaced, one thing that they have all in common is how large they are. They're all very large map, very macro oriented. They do favor defensive play, they do favor turtling up and being the defender in general, but in a PvP I feel like that's maybe less of a factor. PvP is a little bit different. I mean, mirror matchups in general are more of an oddity. You can still be hyper aggressive despite the size of the map because of how the warp-in mechanic works, so we'll keep an eye on our players. For now, we do have Gate Cybercore into expansion. We do have an economic opener out of herO. Likewise, creator doing the same. Now, if you haven't been watching Korean PvP, you might not be familiar with this, but basically ever since last year, November, ever since the PTR went live and the patch went live, this was again back end of October, coming into November sort of era of StarCraft, we did see herO and likewise all the other Koreans. I'm referring to Zaun, I'm referring to Creator, referring to Nightmare, Classic. They all followed suit when it comes to this build, when it comes to the Max opener of Gate Cyber into Nexus. We can see Creator doing something similar. He goes for a Gate Cyber into Stargate, then a slightly later Nexus. But this is more commonplace. This is more commonplace. A year ago, for example, only Max Packs would really be doing this. But again, ever since the latest patch back in November, all the other Korean, at least Korean Protosses, have adopted it as well. And part of it might also just be the map pool, right? It's like a lot of the maps in the current map pool, like they're a little bit more favored towards this style as well, just because how large it is. And here it comes in. Oh my god. Calm down. Comes in with a scout. It does confirm the Oracle. Does confirm the Oracle opener here out of creator. So it's going to be in herO to defend. herO likewise going for his own Stargate. Now, because herO has a bit of a later Stargate because he scouts, herO, he can open up Phoenix. So far, a good response, good reaction by herO. Right now, creator doesn't know what's going on. Creator, he has incomplete information. He doesn't know what tech herO went for. It could be a Stargate, it could be a Twilight Council, it could be a Robo, it could be anything. So creator doesn't know he's walking into Phoenixes. As a result, herO, he should be able to, in a way, shut this down. The Phoenix is a little bit later, though, so a couple of probes are going to fall. Gets one, he gets two. Gets two probes, gets a third probe towards the end, but the Oracle is going to be hunted down. Yeah, there's no escaping the Phoenix. Massive pickoff. Creator, he invested into a second Oracle, and now it's stuck at home. And Creator, he's switching into Blink Stalkers. Likewise, the map is large enough that Creator, he might be able to hide this Oracle and get across the map. So far, he has a revelation on the Phoenix. Creator, he threads the needle. Does slip by. Did slip by for a moment, but alas, here he did spot that stasis, does spot the Oracle, and will chase him down. Chase him back. It's here building up more Phoenixes. Fanning out. Likewise, switching into his own ground-based army. Now, because Hero is behind when it comes to the Twilight Council, this is meta here. In this kind of game state, Hero, he should be going into Immortal production. He should be making up for his lack of Blink Stalkers with +1, with Immortals, building up a robust Immortal force, getting a 3rd expansion, and then from here, he can skip Blink and go into either Charge or Glaive Adepts. We'll get there. But here he's going to be harassing, does ignore the Stalkers, Blink is not yet done, he gets 4 probe kills, he ignores the Stalkers, and oh, he doesn't make his way into the main. Has to pull back that weakened Phoenix. Does pull away, 7 more probe kills. Nice damage. And the Immortal production has begun. And again, he doesn't need those Immortals to survive against the Blinkstalker counterattack. He's got his first, soon to be a second. Be fortifying his 3rd base. And again, King's Cove, you can be pretty defensive and pretty fortified on 3 bases just because there's a ramp coming into the natural, ramp coming into the 3rd as well. Oracle gets caught. Ooh, does not finish the recall, does not escape. Whew. So far, nice defense by Hero. Here, he's still up in workers. Likewise, he is slightly behind when it comes to the 3rd base timing. True. Twilight Council's on the way. Now, again, because this Twilight Council is much later, I'm leaning towards this being either Charge or Glaives. We'll see if Hero does go into Blink. We'll see what he commits to. You know, Stalkers are moving out. Creator is pushing. Yeah, it's going to be Charge. Oh, sorry, that's going to be Charge from a Creator. We have the Bay on the way going into Disruptors. Okay. You have my attention. Stalkers, they rotate, they hunt down a Pylon, they get a Phoenix. Nothing major. But I appreciate this out of a Hero basically just being hyper defensive, right? He's just focusing on defending back at home. He has lost map control. But he's skipping tech and rushing into Disruptors. Oh, Stalkers, they get a sentry. Pick up a sentry. Creator sharking around for another key unit. Hero having a harder time keeping up with the rotations. Does get here in time. Again, Hero just rotating back and forth. Creator still looking for a way in. Adepts, they shade in towards the main. They shade in, but the Phoenixes, they keep up. Do keep up. Now, I assumed it was going to be Disruptors, but no, it's going to be a Colossus first here by Hero. Now, for those that are curious, Colossus, they do have their place in PvP. They are viable in PvP. Specifically, Colossus are amazing against gateway units. I'm referring to Zealots, Adepts, and Stalkers. That is where Colossus do thrive. What they struggle against are Disruptors. So we have seen Colossus in PvP before, but taking into Disruptors as the opposing player is usually kind of a better response. But again, because Hero is ahead in tech, and because he's ahead when it comes to the Robo and the Bay, he can enjoy Colossus for a time. Oh! Feedback's popping off. Getting 5 probe kills in the main. Creator trying to stabilize himself here on 5 bases. Here, as we mentioned, yep, he does skip Blink. He goes for a later Charge. Now, the reason for this is because, I mean, Charge ults have a little bit more value coming into the mid-game, but he's also spending a lot of gas here on Colossus, on Immortals, on eventually Disruptors as well. That's where his gas is being spent. Likewise, Creator also switching up into what should be Charge Archon. Yeah, Archons are morphing in. So Creator, he's going for a much more standard kind of mid-game unit composition of a gateway army with Immortals and Archons. Like, this is very standard. But again, Hero, he's kind of like skipped some steps. Because from where Creator is, then you go into Disruptors and Colossus, into that more Robo-based composition. So here he's kind of beat him there. And this is the sort of thing that you can do on these larger maps. You can skip tech, cut corners, and get away with it. Just because it takes so long to counterattack. So I do favor Hero coming into the mid-game. As he's getting up to 3 Colossus. And he's up against a massive amount of charge, lots of all things. Now, I don't see too much value in getting into a 4th Colossus. This is where I would like to see, Disruptors out of Hero. to help support the army. herO breaks out. He's waiting for his War Prism to reinforce. Shocking around. He gets spotted by the Observer. Creator, he sees the army. He is aware. Creator, he doesn't have the best army to engage into this. Right now, the Colossus do reign supreme. Now, the best case scenario for Creator is here, to fight out in the open and get us around. That's best case scenario. He needs to surround this army, come in from multiple angles, and then he can collapse on the Colossus. Meanwhile, here he's looking for a choke point, so he rotates. He rotates over. Again, he can make use of this choke point here to make sure he doesn't get surrounded, and he's going straight for the expansion. So far, good positional play here by herO. We can see Creator attempting this around. Coming from behind. herO, there's no way out of this. He has to stand strong. He has to stand and fight. Colossal shots here on the Archons. Warpins from behind. And herO, he gets surrounded. He's going to be shut down. Archons are moving in. Zealots from behind. And does Creator have enough? Oh, the Colossus, they're still alive. Yeah, they clean up every single Archon. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, never mind. herO, despite the surround, he shuts down the Archons, breaks on through, takes down the Prism. And herO, he will break the expansion. He will snowball out of control. That was maybe the best fight that Creator could have hoped for, but still not enough. I'm surprised the Archons, they went down as quickly as they did. Like, I was like, oh, the Archons, they're going to be able to get on top of the Colossus. No, they did not get on top of them. They didn't make it. They did not make it that far. And here he has done it. Didn't lose a single Colossus. Yeah, and Creator, he's out of steam. Like, he has nothing left. He's got a handful of Zealots, a handful of Stalkers. He's got 3 Archons here on top of the ramp. Archon Volley's doing well on those Zealots. Stalkers are coming from behind. Creator, he wants at least 1 Colossus. Can he get it? He gets 1. Let's go. He gets 1, but only 1. GG gets called, and herO will take game number 1. Whew. GG. herO, he does take a lead in the series. And with that, we'll see if Creator can bounce back as we're getting ready for game number 2. We're getting ready here for ley lines. Oh. Un momento. Bam. Ah, let's go. So we're just setting up our overlays. We're setting up our overlays, getting things going. Now, as a reminder, this is a best of 5, so we have plenty more games ahead of us, plenty more games to come. Oh, here you can hear the beeps. We're getting into game 2. Ley lines up next. A much smaller map this time. Much smaller map. When it comes to herO's build, when it comes to his composition last game, I should emphasize as well that a big reason why he got away with it was because of the size of the map and how defendable King's Cove is, because that he was able to, again, cut corners and rush into Colossus in a standard PvP on a smaller map. It is much more difficult to get away with that. Not impossible, but is more difficult, as your opponent can be more aggressive and more assertive. Here we go. We're now getting into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines. We have our South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, leading the series 1-0. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, also from South Korea, down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is Creator. Let's go. So we were just provided some logos, so we are going to quickly add them to our overlays. Un momento. Got 1 more left to go. Unless I'm blind. I could be blind. Okay, we're good. We are good. As for now, we're going to be opening up. We do have herO here. He moves out with his first probe. Going to be hiding his pylon. Now, the question becomes, is this a real or a fake proxy pylon? As a pylon is placed. Now, based on this location, this wouldn't be a bad location for a proxy starport. I would make that assumption here. I guess this could also be a proxy Twilight Council. But those, I feel like, are the two main options for herO. Back at home, again, a second pylon is missing, and Creator, he does go for the probe scout. He's looking for the pylon. Creator, he does notice that the pylon is nowhere to be found. So we can see Creator, he moves out with the second probe. Second probe moves out, he is searching for that pylon. He knows that there's a proxy somewhere, and we have confirmation, yep, proxy Stargate. So again, that was one of the two options, either Stargate or Twilight Council. This is not an all-in, I should emphasize that. This is an aggressive opener, that is true, but herO will still expand. And Creator, he will check, and Creator, he will find this. So big scout here for Creator. He's now fully aware of what is being proxied. Now he knows not to overreact and over-respond. Stalkers, they make a beeline for that pylon, and this Stargate is going to be shut down. It is going to be shut down. And Creator, he goes for a robo response. Okay, if Creator throws down a gateway, he can respond and react with a one base all in. Yeah, there's a cancel. Takes down the pylon. herO, he expands. And herO, he's behind. As his tech is heavily delayed, herO trying to force his way in. Oh! So far, Creator, he holds the line. He does defend. He's defending on one base. And Creator looks like he is looking to expand. Oof, as he will bleed out one of the stalkers. herO trading well. Oh no! Trading 1-to-1. 1 for 2. Takes down both stalkers. Busts into the main. And gets a full scout. He gets eyes on the robo. And he recalls. Oh, he will lose the stalker in the process. Does recall back home. Throws down his own defensive robo. And Creator expands. Again, we were waiting to see if Creator was going to throw down the gateway. He did not. Throws down the expansion. We're getting into the mid game. So both layers are expanding. herO has the faster Nexus. Meanwhile, Creator has the faster Robo. That Robo is moving out with the Observer. Trying to figure out what's going on. Observer does move out. In the chat, we don't talk about the man with gun council, mostly because of the abundance of stim. Oh no, oh no. Why isn't SCV not with them? There's no SCV plushie. SCV plushies don't exist, unfortunately. There are marine plushies. I've said this for a long time. Maybe now that we're having a little bit more free time during the week, I might be able to take some photos of the marine plushies. Maybe one day. No promises. For now, though, we do have a herO building up. Again, getting into his own immortal production. First immortal has arrived. He's got his sentries. He's pushing. Now, this is going to be an early move out. This is designed to hit before Blink comes into play, before any major upgrades. Likewise, Creator going for the same push. Now, Creator, he goes immortal into Prism. So, Creator, he has a Warp Prism, but he's down in immortal. Bear that in mind. But he has that micro potential. As the armies are about to clash. Supplies are neck and neck. Comes down to the unit control. Again, that War Prism does allow for more control from the side of Creator. He can micro. He can juggle. Now moving in. There's still that second immortal here for herO. He does have the shield battery as well. Adepts, they threaten the shade. They get into the main. herO, he failed to wall off. Yeah, didn't wall in time. Armies, they crash in. herO takes down the sentries. Sentries do fall, but at the same time, Adepts, they get into the mineral line. Stalkers, they try to hold on. 5 probes going down. herO, he holds. herO, he holds. He defends. Forces out the Adepts, chasing them down. herO, he's now down in workers. He did lose a lot of probes, true. A lot of probes did fall. herO going for his counterattack at the same time. Creator going for a drop into the mineral line. And Creator, he can always recall. He can always recall back home. Meanwhile, there's no shield batteries. Oh, yeah, no shield batteries. Creator, he is not ready for this. Does have one immortal. Voids are being pulled. They have to be. So the herO tanking shots. He locks down the immortal. Yeah, he's going for it. He will focus it down. Massive pickup. Immortal falls, kiting back against the probes. His immortal's taking a lot of hits, a lot of damage. Yeah, but does pull away in time. Very nice control. Avoids those stalker shots. Forcing his way in. Creator, meanwhile, across the map is getting some probe damage. But hero's going for the kill. He's going for the kill, going for the throws. Once again, boys are being pulled. We're down to 2 stalkers. 2 stalkers left. Ay, ay, ay. Barely a third. Speaking of a third immortal has arrived. Back at home, herO, he does lose every single worker. And there's the recall. There's the recall back home. Oh, takes down the immortal just barely before the prism comes in. And the prism trying to reinforce. 1 immortal left. herO peeling off into the main. Both players are hurting. herO, he's down in workers. 19 to 29. herO, he does have a larger army, but it's forced out. He's forced out. Creator, he's holding on. Creator, he is holding. Zones away the army, and herO is going for a 2-base all-in. I mean, he was already all-in, but now he's going for glaives. Now, hero's hope at this point is for Creator to expand. If Creator expands, if Creator is too greedy, if he makes too many workers, then herO can catch him off guard. That is the hope. Oh! So Prism takes a lot of hits. Does pull away. Creator, now he has Blink. Glaives is halfway done. That's all or nothing for herO. Now looking at the main armies, herO, he's got 4 immortals to 1. So herO, he has a massive immortal lead. That is true. But these stalkers have Blink. Oh. herO, he's got 2 prisms as well. Oh my god. Okay. 2 more prisms. Let's go. Shades into the main. Shade is denied. Stalkers, they threaten a dive. Let's say keep it shading in. herO pushing forward, commits into the shade, goes for the sentry. Sentry goes down. He tries to force his way in as well. But again, the shield batteries are coming into play. That's 4 shield batteries. Voids are being pulled. And these immortals are so low for herO. Is being forced back. Creator, he's holding. Creator, he's holding on. Takes down the prism, dives on forward. And Creator, he will completely shut this down. At the same time, herO, he gets 19 for 20 probes. Oh my god. He gets 22 probes in the main. herO, he will lose the main army, but he will cripple the economy. 24 probe kills, and he's still not done. 25. And now suddenly, Creator's all in. Suddenly, Creator, he's down to 12 workers, barely an economy. But he's got the army. He's got the army on his side. herO back at home, trying to rebuild. Trying to mass up an army. Creator, he's looking for that War Prism. Trying to hunt it down. Again, the double War Prism of herO paid off. It did pay off in the end. herO, he's scouting. He does check saturation. Checks the main army as well. 1 immortal. 1 immortal, 1 War Prism. He sees that Creator's taking a defensive stance. He sees Creator in the main and the natural. Oh, he's going to lose the Prism. And Prism goes down. This was not worth it for herO, as in this follow-up push. He shades away. He will lose the Adepts. Creator defends. And without that War Prism, there's nothing keeping Creator at home. Creator, he can push. He can push. He can move out. Meanwhile, herO, he's trying to rebuild his army. He's now up to 2 immortals, soon to be 3. And Creator, he only moves out with the stalkers. So Creator is still a little bit tentative. Still scared. And I don't blame him, he lost so much. Hallucination should get eyes on the lack of army, or the missing army. Hallucination also checking herO. herO, he is getting his Warp Prism. herO again, he's still ahead in the Immortals. He needs those Adepts. Here we go, he moves out. Now the Observer does see the move out. As herO moves out, the Stalkers, they can move in. And herO, he has to make a choice. Does he turn around, or does he commit? What's the plan? Do we recall? Stalkers, yep, they go for the production, they go for the gateways, massive pickoffs. herO, he has to make a choice. He commits. herO, he commits, it's all or nothing. But again, he's pushing into 4 shield batteries. There's the recall. Oh, he commits to the shade a little bit early. Immortals have arrived. But breaking 4 shield batteries, I'm not too convinced here. Yeah, Adepts, they're going down one after the other. herO down to almost just his Immortals. And Creator, he will shut this down. He will completely shut this down. Blinks on forward. Takes down the Prism, takes down everything. And GG gets called. Creator ties up the series 1-1. We have a back and forth. We have a series. GG. GG, well played. Whew, a very intense back and forth between herO and Creator. Very intense. A lot of losses on both sides. All in after all in. Barely an economy from either player. GG. GG, well played. Again, Creator, despite losing a lot of his army, he still maintained those shield batteries at the natural, which did come into play towards the end. He had a very comfortable hold. And with that, we are getting ready for game 3. Let's go. Let us go. So, getting into our next game. Problem is, when you see 2 prisons at the same time, how do you know they stopped it too? I would say, like, how do you know which one is real? I feel like there's a higher chance that one of the prisms is a hallucination when you see 2 of them. But yeah, Creator, his entire attention was at the natural at the time. Despite that, of course, despite losing so many workers, he was able to recover, able to rebuild. And take a greater defensive fight. And now we're getting into game number 3. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss from South Korea, being forced into a back and forth. We'll see if we can bring it back. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, also from South Korea, tying up the series 1-1. Momentum, it's on his side. We'll see if we can keep it going. It is a Creator. We go. We are opening up, and welcome one and all to Amygdala. Amygdala is one of the larger maps in the map pool, larger than ley lines. Because of that, on the one hand, we could see some greedier builds and some greedier play. Keep an eye on our players. Likewise, proxies are not uncommon on this map either. We do have a Creator opening up 2 gates, so 2 gate opener out of Creator. herO going for the gate, Cyber into expansion. So herO once again going for an economic build. We saw this in game 1, we're seeing this here now in game 3. Creator going for a standard opener instead. Now, because of this, the pressure is now on Creator. It's going to be on Creator to block the expansion, to delay the natural for as long as possible, and potentially to respond with a 1 base all-in. So Creator is going to be the aggressor here. Either respond with a 1 base all-in, or just take a later expansion. We'll see how this all does unfold. As herO is forced to make the Zealot to deal with the pylon. herO going for a Stargate before Nexus. Now, what this means here, I mean, again, if you've seen Max Packs, then you know this build. If Creator does go for one base all-in, then herO can respond with defensive Void Rays. Otherwise, he can just open Oracle and get some economic damage that way while he expands. Oh. As there's that Nexus. Probe is forced back. He's going to be hunted down. And Creator, he does go for his own later expansion. So as we get into this game state, we do have the Nexus timings, which are close enough, true, but herO has a much faster Stargate, Oracle's on the way, and here he's looking to get ahead economically by killing some workers, by getting some probe damage. Now this hallucination will confirm, so Creator, he will be aware of the Oracle, and he should be in position to deter it. So now he knows to move into his mineral lines. herO will gain map control. And now it's on Creator to defend. Again, Creator, he had the option to take a more aggressive approach, but opted not to, going into his own blink. Now, just like the previous game, just like game one, with this opener, with this dynamic, Creator, he will have faster blink. Because of that, there's a higher chance that herO, as we get into the mid game, oh, never mind. I was gonna say we'll go for a faster Robo, but no, Twilight Council is on the way. But herO will have later blink than his opponent. Now still looking for a way in. Creator, he has 2 Stalkers, 2 Sentries, and a Shield Battery. He's perfectly safe and sound in the main base. But herO does wait for his second Oracle. Now 2 Oracles, they can one-shot probes. 1 Shield Battery is not enough. So it can one-shot. Setting up Stasis Traps instead. Okay, let's go. Stasis Traps. Gets 1, gets 2 probes at the natural, not bad. Blink is on the horizon. And we'll see where our players take us. herO is getting a 3rd gateway. Great. Oh, ooh, does run into the stasis. Does get caught out. Here he gets 2 more. Oh, takes a bit of hull damage. Gets 2 more probes. He knows that there's a window. He knows about the timing of blink, so he knows he's safe for now. And herO with that map control throwing down more stasis traps, and it takes a 3rd. Let's take a 3rd base. Creator going for his own at a reasonable time. Just a couple of seconds later than herO's. From here, we're getting into a longer game state. There's no greater tech advantage. Like, everyone is getting into Blink Stalkers, everyone's taking their 3rd bases. Now have a Forge on the way for herO to 4+1. Creator, he does open up and follow up with a Robo instead. Oh. herO picks in. And Creator, he should be fine. Should be fine here. herO, he can threaten to dive into the main base and try to get some damage, but again, Creator, he's still in position. Poking in. Likewise hits the main, doesn't really get much done. Is forced out. And from here, we're just getting into a longer game state. herO getting to charge, getting to Blink Stalkers into charge ults, eventually into Archon production. Creator doing the same. Creator, he is slightly behind when it comes to his charge upgrade and +1. Like, the upgrades are just a little bit later here for Creator, but not the biggest of deals. Meanwhile, herO, he goes for the center gold. Let's go. Goes for the center expansion and takes the gold base on the other side. He could even try to double expand. Yep, he's setting up for it. herO, you're an animal. He wants both gold bases. The power of Amygdala. He wants both. We'll see if he can get it. I mean, right now he is containing Creator. Takes off a sentry. Nice pickoffs. You're catching out a Stalker, not quite. Just applying pressure, keeping Creator's attention here back at home. Gets a couple of Zealots. Gets a Stalker or two. No major losses. Here now setting up, long distance mining. Oh, catching another Stalker. And while all this is happening, here he is taking an economic lead, a pretty large one, as long as he can get to the goal base. Almost there. There we go, just now reinforcing, getting into +2. Now here, to afford this 4th base and to afford this gold, he did delay his tech, so he has no Archon production, but he dives in. It dives in nonetheless. Gets a Stalker. May have overextended though. Here he has to respect this. The concave in favor of Creator. Creator forces hero back. Immortal has arrived. Yeah, here he didn't tech. He did not take up. Here he's going purely into Stalkers and Zealots. Purely a gateway composition from hero. Oracle gets caught out. And Creator has no idea. He still does not know. He hasn't seen the goal bases. And this is going to allow hero to overwhelm with Zealot. Well, with those charge lots. Hero, yeah, he forces a rotation. Zealots a peel off into the mineral lines, into the bases. Creator not quite in position. Pylon's going to be going down. Delays +2. Depowers the Forge. Forces back some of the main army. Creator still holding on there. Still holding his own, but stuck defending. Hero thankfully doesn't take the other goal base. He does take the backup 4th. The 5th though, the southern 5th base. And here he's just in full control. He's in full control at this point, just getting further ahead. Here he can afford to trade inefficiently. Double expanding even. Oh my, he just has so much money, he doesn't know what to do with it. Double expands. Getting up to 6 bases. And here he dives in. These Zealots do a great job just tanking shots. Collapsing on those Stalkers. There's only the 1 Archon for Creator. Here he is breaking through. And not being forced back by that Archon. But again, he traded well. He traded out Zealots for Stalkers, so just more efficient trades here from hero. You know, Stalkers going for another run by, this time with DTs with a Dark Shrine. They're waddling in. Creator, he does notice. Oof. He does notice. Once again, hero just distracting. Creator is in position. He's got a cannon back at home. Let's go. Creator, he's holding on. How many gateways does hero have? 10. He could do with more. Here, trying to reinforce. Gets into the mineral line. Gets a couple of probe kills. 2 probes going down. Killed the cannon. Hero getting a 7th expansion. At a certain point, just take the other goal base back. You just take it. But again, I would say that the gateways are really holding hero back. There we go. We have 4 gates on the way, so it's going to be a 14 gate setup. So we can finally spend his money. Eventually. Likewise, getting to his own immortals. Still just relentless with that aggression, just keeping Creator pinned. Creator, he just can't move out. He's getting surrounded as well. Shiba trying to help out with the Immortal. It's going to go down. Up. It survives. Never mind. Whew. Does barely live on 2 HP. Now, Creator, he is building up a better army with Archons and Immortals. So Technically, if he can weather the storm a little bit longer, he can just get a greater army. True. Oh, but the cannon goes down. Blink is done with the Dark Templar. Yeah, Shadow Stride. Creator just getting pulled apart. Dark Templar into the main. Here he wants that Immortal. This time he's gonna get it. The Immortal goes down. More Zealots, they just flood in. Again, here he's got 2,000 minerals in the bank. There we go, warping in 9 Zealots at a time. Gets into the mineral line. And finally, here he breaks the expansion. He breaks through. 13 probes go down. It took a long time. I was very impressed here by Creator. He was able to defend for as long as he did. But he's finally being broken. Like, it's finally becoming too much. It's going to be 13 worker kills. They'll say get into the mineral line here in the natural. Creator, now he realizes what's been going on. He's like, oh my god, how long have you had this? My god. He splits the goal base. Here getting an 8th expansion. Taking more bases. At this point, the goal doesn't matter. Like, here he can lose it, and it's fine, he can afford it. Pushing further in. Dives on the prism, denies the warp in. And here he will overwhelm these Archons. GG gets called, and here he will take a lead in the series at 2-1. GG. Whew, oh my god. GG, well played. herO, just as soon as he got map control, he was an animal. He just rushed into that goal base. He double expanded from there as well. Very greedy play there by herO. And unfortunately, Creator, he felt pressured enough never to counterattack. We never saw any Zealot run-bys, Stalker counterattacks, DTs, War Prism harass. There was no harassment whatsoever. And because of that, there was no scouting either, right? It did feel like Creator, he was being overly defensive. He was giving herO too much respect, and herO took advantage of that. And herO, he just cut corners, was hyper greedy, just mass expanded, and Creator was just stuck at home. He was just stuck at home and could not stop him. Could not stop him. And with that, we're getting into our next game. With that, herO, he is 1 game away from claiming the series. Onomas is all he needs. Well, the pressure's on the Creator. Now, thankfully, Creator just needs 1 game here to force the ace match. He can bring it back. I believe. I believe. Setting things up. Beautiful. We have our casters. We have everyone getting involved. It looks like the lower semis may have concluded, actually. ByuN and Solar, they might have wrapped up as we are getting into herO versus as we're getting into game 4. Yeah, it has. Oh my god. Did wrap up. Solar, he takes down ByuN 3-0. Big win there for Solar. Solar, he's in the grand finals waiting for his next opponent. And we're jumping into game 4 and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Whispers of Gold. We have our South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing himself, currently teamless. It is herO. 1 game away from making it to the grand finals and spawning in the top left-hand corner. We have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force that ace match. It is Creator. And welcome one and all to Whispers of Gold. This is the smallest map, or the rush map, of the ladder map pool. Smallest map that we have available. Aggression is favored here on Whispers of Gold. And we'll see how aggressive our players are going to be. Now, we have seen these more greedy builds out of herO, going for these faster cyber cores, going for these delayed gateways. I'm not too fond of that opener here on Whispers of Gold, I'll be honest. It can be quite risky. We go 2-gate opener out of Creator. And herO, I don't see a second gateway. Okay, bold move here by herO. Bold move, he's going Gate Cybercore into an expansion, or I should say Gate Cyber Stargate into Nexus. A very greedy build here by herO. And once again, Creator is going to have the option. He's going to have the option here to commit to an all-in, to try to punish herO. Yep, there we go. He's going for it. I love that Creator. He doesn't even scout, by the way. He doesn't even scout. He doesn't even know what herO's up to. He is just blindly assuming that herO is being greedy, and he assumes correctly. Does assume correctly. I mean, again, herO has gone for this opener twice now in this series. Now, this is the third time. So has done it more often than not. And Creator, we should be going for a proxy robo. This should be a robo. This should be a one base all-in. Now, herO with this probe scout, he does scout, he does count at the pylons. He knows that the pylon is missing. He knows that there is a proxy pylon somewhere. It could be a proxy Stargate, could be a gateway, could be a Twilight Council, could be a fake proxy pylon, or it could be a real one. We can see herO, he checks the third location, and he's rallied to the center. Yeah, he does go for a bit of a walk around the map, and he does find the center. He does find the proxy ahead of time. And he's gonna deny it. The Zealots on the pylon, Stalkers on the way as well, and this proxy, it's falling before it really gets going. Creator is gonna try to keep this alive, he's gonna try to hold on, but this is a rough position for Creator. Ay, that pylon, it's gonna fall. Here comes that Stalker, gets one pylon, and that will delay the robo. Now, thankfully, there is a second pylon, so Creator, he's still gonna commit to this, he's still gonna keep this going. Second Stalker comes in to reinforce, takes down the Adept, massive pickoff. Oh. Yeah, Stalker does survive. Let's see here, he does keep up the aggression. Going for the Adept. But now there's a Sentry, now there's a Force Field. Immortal's almost done. And herO moving out for a bold move. Moving out for the counterattack. He's moving out with that Oracle. Here he pulls back his main army. Shield batteries are on the way. These are later shield batteries. Creator, he can still pull this off. Still pull this off. Probes are going down. It's going to be 5 probe kills across the map, getting up to 6. Nice force field on the ramp. And Creator, he will catch these Stalkers. And again, these shield batteries are too late. They're too little too late. Both Stalkers fall. Backup shield battery is going to be going down. He's getting 13 probes. Oh my god. 13 workers go down. But the Void Ray has arrived. And where's the anti-air? Oh, where is the anti-air? Void Ray going for the Stalkers. Nice control. Oh. Void Ray taking a lot of hits. Has to fall back. Again, remember, herO, he can afford to lose this. He doesn't have to save the natural. He can throw it away. herO, he's ahead economically. He's up to 24 against 10 workers. And herO, he just has to make a stand here in the main. This is where he makes a stand. Mortal forces way in. Second Void Ray has arrived. And now to 2 Void Rays. Forcing back the army. Oh, nice focus firing here. Voids are being pulled. Void Rays are getting low. And again, it's only 2 Void Rays here. Creator, does he have enough? No, it's getting close. And Stalkers, they do rotate around. There's 3 Stalkers left. Up, down to 2. 2 Stalkers, down to 1, down to 0. 0 Stalkers, herO, he holds. He shuts down the army, shuts down the Stalkers. And GG gets called. herO, he will overwhelm. He will take the series 3-1 and advance on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, very fortunate that herO, he was able to find that proxy early on. Good reaction, good response. It was getting a little bit shaky towards the end as Creator did make his way into the main base, but he ran out of anti-air. He ran out of Stalkers. Again, herO, he was able to pull the boys, focus on those Stalkers, and eventually there was just no answer to the Void Ray. Nothing shut up. GG. GG, well played. herO, he will claim the series will advance on. My condolences to Creator. Creator, he's an amazing player, don't get me wrong. I mean, hey, remember, Creator, he did take down Percival to make it to the semis, and he even did make a series out of this as well. But in the end, he does fall to herO, and now we are getting ready for our next matchup. Here we go, we're getting ready for the grand finals even. It's going to be a PvZ between herO and Solar. Let's go. There we go. We have our matchup here. Here versus Solar is going to be coming up next. Vetoes are underway, and this is going to be a best of 7, not a best of 5. So a much longer series here between the two players. Much longer series. Just catching up here. Solar did take down Cure 2-0 and ByuN 3-0, so big wins there for Solar, popping off in that ZVT. Very impressive. Very impressive games. And I imagine this is going to be a bit of a shorter series as well. If you've been watching Solar over the past month, you would know that Solar has been hyper aggressive in this matchup. Solar, he rarely macros. He very often goes for variations of 2 and 3 base all-ins. Like 2 and 3 base all-ins, that's what we expect out of most of these games from Solar. Likewise though, herO is also more of an unpredictable player. He's also aggressive himself at times, so I'm ready for some chaos. I'm ready for some shenanigans. Let's go. Let us go. Those games certainly happen. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, I feel like the highlights of the games were, I mean, how could you not have enjoyed Amygdala? Oh my god. Or even King's Cove. What are you talking about? With herO going Mass Colossus, with Creator setting up that surround, I'm referring back to King's Cove. Even Amygdala with herO just rushing to the goal base and mass expanding. But for now, we're going to be going on a short break. Vetoes are underway. Once they wrap up, we will have our best of 7. So we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes here. Otherwise, until then, take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors. A big shout out to Ian in the chat. Papi got Ian M7. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. Papi, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We do appreciate the support. We do appreciate that you're enjoying the casting, the StarCrafts. I hope you're enjoying, and yeah, we still have the finals ahead of us. Still have the finals ahead of us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support. We'll see you guys after the break. See you soon. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew. Welcome back to the Grand Finals. The Grand Finals here of the K-Cup Korea edition, the Kanoya Cup, if you will. We are now setting in. We are getting ready for the Grand Finals. We did miss one of our casters, so did have a bit of a slip up here at the start of the series, but it's all good. It's all good. We are jumping into those finals. Game 1 is going to be on Abyssal Reef, and best of luck to Solar. Solar, he had some words. Solar, he was like, guys, so what's the format for the finals? And he was notified it's a best of 7, and Solar was very sad. He was like ZVP best of 7, Smurge, Bappy Smurge. So he was very sad that he's locked in the best of 7 against herO, but regardless, best of luck, and we'll see if he can bring it to herO despite the format, despite the extended series. Let's go, Bappy, let's go. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss. It is herO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player, also from South Korea, representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. As a reminder, this is just to remind the chat and also to remind Solar, it is a best of 7. it is a best of 7. Aye. So best of luck to our players. We'll see if Solar can survive mentally even a ZVP best of 7. Oh no. Let's go. I'm ready for it. See someone in the chat asking, is this a new weekly tournament? Yet to be determined. From my understanding, the organizer of the event, Kanoya, hence the name of the tournament, K-Cup, Kanoya, he does want to run additional tournaments, but this is the first one, and we'll see how this all unfolds. You know, there's still some teething issues when it comes to the format, when it comes to the rule set, when it comes to the tournament. Based on the naming structure, he might be hosting like a European and maybe an NA version as well. For now, this is the initial Korean version, and yeah, we might see some future events. We might see some more events in the future. We'll see. This might be the beginning of something greater. Whether it's like a weekly or a monthly or maybe even like a circuit event where we have like maybe one event for each region and then like a cross finals or something. We'll see. For now though, just a one-off with the potential of more. As we're getting into our best of 7, so far Solar forced to take the unnatural natural. And we are loading into Abyssal Reef, one of the larger maps of the map pool. Now, the last time we were on this map, we were featuring herO versus SHIN, and herO, he did open up Glaive Adepts. True, he went in Glaives, and he did catch SHIN a little bit off guard, until SHIN scattered, of course. He was able to shut down the Adepts. SHIN responded with a Ling Roach Ravager all-in, which failed, and then herO recovered. herO, he was able to recover. I mean, I say failed. I mean, he killed the third base, true, he was able to do some damage, but herO did eventually recover, he was able to persevere, and herO snowballed out of control from there. This time, Stargate Opener. This time herO, he does not mess around with the Twilight Council. So Stargate Opener out of herO, into Oracle. Likewise, Solar across the map, just running up, getting a third base, and settling into Abyssal Reef. Now, I did mention earlier some of the tendencies of Solar, how Solar, he has been hyper aggressive in this matchup. I stand by that. I think I've seen Solar macro once in like a month of ZVP. Like he's been going for all-in after all-in after all-in. But these have also been on the newer maps, on the TLMC 20 maps. Here, on the older maps, especially on a map like Abyssal Reef, all-ins are not favored. All-ins, they struggle here just because of how defensive the map is. We have a narrow ramp coming into the natural base. Because of this, you can focus all your attention at the third, long rush distance by ground, or good attack path into the third as well, either up this ramp on the right-hand side or through kind of these ramps and through these choke points. It is easier on this map to defend and stabilize on 5 bases to get your natural, third, fourth, and 5th base. Like the 5 base setup here is very secure in Abyssal Reef, and that is why we often see a lot of turtle play and a lot of late game on Abyssal Reef as well. So we'll see if Solar embraces the late game or if he tries to break herO ahead of time. The pressure is going to be on Solar. As the Overlord does go down. So far here he does open Void Ray, not Oracle. So Void Ray first, hunting down Overlords, denying vision here from Solar. Getting one Overlord so far. Looking for another. Thankfully Solar does pull away. Does pull away in time. Oracle into the natural, Queens are in position. No Spore, but there are those Queens. Despite that 2 drone kills. Nice pickoffs. It is going to be a later Twilight Council out of herO, so we should be seeing a Forge. Yep, Forge is on the way. It looks like Plus on and Blink. Standard follow-up here out of herO. Meanwhile, Solar, Lair first. Lair first before the Evo Chamber, before the gases, is going for the earlier Lair into a Roach Horn. This does look like Roach Hydra. If this was a little bit more Link-based, we would have seen an earlier Evo Chamber. So it looks like Roach Hydra out of Solar. The next big question, Solar, he will take a 4th, but does he saturate the 4th base? Does he drone up? That's going to be our next big tell. As here he gets 2 more drones. I believe that's 4 in total. Yep, 4 drones go down. Here he rotates. He's trying to keep an eye on the 4th expansion. Behind this did mention Blink and +1 on the way here for herO. herO just settling into a standard game state. From here, herO, he can either double down into Blinkstalker aggression, he can start to tech up into Storm or Colossus. Storm is the more common follow-up, especially with the latest, well, the most recent patch, with the NG overcharge. Oracles, they dip in. They do get another drone, another couple of drone kills. That's 4 more workers going down, 8 in total, not bad. And we have the answer here. Whether or not Solar was going to drone up, the answer is yes. Solar, he is droning. He throws down Infestation Pit. Interesting. Now, what is curious to me, I don't see a Hydra Den. I would have expected a Hydra Den by now to go into Hydras and Lurkers and Hive Tech, but not yet. Meanwhile, we assume the herO is going to go into Storm. Yep, there it is. Temple Archives on the way. Is going to be for Storm Tech. Oracles, they confirm the Infestation Pit. Is aware. Now, is Solar crazy enough to go into like Swarm Host, for example? Swarm Host can work on some of these larger maps, true. They can be used to break these expansions. A lot of these bases are very defendable, but we have seen Swarm Hosts being used to great effect here on the other side of this cliff face. Yep, and there it is. Swarm Hosts are on the way. So again, specifically on Abyssal Reef, there are certain areas like this area here where you can try to lay siege upon the natural. You can also lay siege upon this Ascender expansion from the low ground. You can also siege up here on the left hand side as well. Because of the terrain, there are a lot of location for Swarm Hosts. So this is relatively, I don't know if I want to say common, but we do see this every now and then on Abyssal Reef. So it is going to be Roach into Swarm Host. 9 Swarms are on the way. And we'll see if herO can keep up. Now, when it comes to Swarm Hosts, they're very momentum-based. The first wave is typically a surprise. The problem is that herO, he saw the tech. He saw the Infestation Pit. And he confirms. Revelation gets eyes on the Swarm Host. herO, he's fully aware. Cannons are being thrown down. Cannons are on the way. Stalker's in position. herO, he's getting ready. Meanwhile, we're going for the initial, more obvious location here, outside of the natural. So we have Roaches towards the center base. Swarm Host towards the natural. herO, yeah, he checks, he confirms. And herO, he will not get the Nidus Worm. The Oracles are going to be going down. The Locust Wave is forced out. Oh my god, the Nidus does fall! And the Swarm Hosts are exposed. Only for a moment. And Solar, he should be able to get away. Storm on the Locust Wave. Solar, he does somewhat break through. And he gets out of here. So he can pull away. Likewise, Roach Ravager is deflected. herO here extends for a moment, but does pull back. Picking up more Roaches. And nice pickups here. Void Ray does avoid those biles. And Roaches are being forced back, and herO, he's holding. Now, this is where the soup does lie, so be careful. The army supply is very inflated by the Roach Ravager and by the Swarm Host as well. Ooh, as he was on A move. Yeah, Locust Wave is on A move. Swarm Hosts do nothing. Bile takes down the Void Ray, but herO's holding. And herO, he holds on. Massive Storm. He does force back the main army, but did lose that Void Ray. Mothership is on the way. And we spoke about this, right? Abyssal Reef is known for being more defensive, and herO, he's so far successfully holding onto 4 bases. And right now, the pressure's on herO to weather the storm until he catches up in supply. And then he can break out. Until then, he's stuck at home. Files a takes out an Archon. Nice pickoff. Yeah, very nice pickoff. Stalkers, they come in for the flank. Roach is being shut down. Here comes that Locust Wave, though. And this might just be enough. Solar, he's trying to break herO here and now. Forces back the army, getting into the mineral line. Where's that Mothership? Mothership's still on the way. Tempest rallying in. Ooh, and the Roaches get surrounded. Again, the Locust Wave runs out. And with that Solar, he will lose all the Ravagers. Ravagers are falling one after the other. Nice blink control. Tempest has arrived. And herO holds. Whew, herO, he does hold on. A limited anti-air here for Solar. He's down to 1 queen. Tempest can just reign free. No detection. And herO shuts this down. Now again, Roach Ravagers is a very inefficient army supply. Army supply-wise, I should say. Likewise, Stormhost, whenever there's no Locust Wave, they're dead supply as well. That's why the soup does lie here. And he needs damage done. He's going for the Nexus. He needs the mineral line or the base itself. Probes, they pull away. And herO, he will hold. And he will hold on. Slows on the main army. herO, he shuts this down. Behind this, saves the mineral line. Roaches, they try to overwhelm. Stalkers are going to be going down. These are still rough trades there for Solar, bleeding out a lot of Roaches. Now, when it comes to herO's counterattack, he still doesn't have enough. Ideally, if he can get up to, I want to say like 6 Tempest, then he can start getting into carrier production. Once again, he does try to catch out these Swarm Hosts. Bleeding out a lot of Stalkers. Yeah, not worth it there for herO. Not worth it. The base finally goes down. Finally, damage is being done. The first base falls. Solar moving in. Now he's got Hydras. Storm pops up. Yeah, Solar being forced back. That was the only Storm, though. Yeah, there's the Cloak. herO, he defends that center base, but again, lost the natural. Another Knight is on the way. Solar, he will ensure that that base doesn't get up and running. But over time, the Tempest count. That's what matters here. Up to 4, soon to be up to 6 Tempest. Solar, he needs to get ready for this. And thankfully, he is. Solar, he has the first Viper. 1 Viper is not going to be enough, but Vipers, they will help. Oh no! herO, not paying attention. Doesn't pay attention. 1 Tempest falls. That should not have happened. Again, this Tempest count should be building up, but he will lose 1. Another Locust Wave. The Locust Wave towards that natural base. herO tries to respond. Expansion should be denied. Where's the cancel? Ooh, just in time. Does cancel. Solar Blackbeard's moving in. Oh, he's mainly got Hydras here. Here comes the Abduction. Gets 1 Tempest. Does get 1 Tempest going for the other. But the second Tempest will survive. Tempest pulls away. herO once again trying to hold on, but he has to be very careful not to push too far into creep. Has to take care here. Here comes that Locust Wave. Cleric runs out. He's going for the Nexus. He's going for the mineral line, and it looks like he will get the Nexus. Massive pick off. Whew. And with that, herO, he supply blocked. Big supply block for herO. Solar, I think he has finally done it. He killed the natural. He killed the 4th base. This is what's important. And now Solar, he can now freely expand, drone up, and tech into Corruptors. Whew. And here he's still supply block, still throwing down more pylons. Nice Storm. Nice Storm of the army. And again, Solar cannot break this position, not yet, but he doesn't need to. Doesn't need to, he just has to make sure that the expansion never gets back up and running. That is Solar's win condition. Just deny the bases, deny the expansions. Oh, gets High Templar, gets 2. 2 High Templar go down. And the one thing that he's missing here is still those Corruptors. this Spire is done. Can now make those Corruptors. If it wasn't for this Spire, if Solo was tunnel visioning and if he was just making purely Hydra Tech and Roaches, then he'd be in danger. Oh, speaking of being in danger, these High Templar have to get the hell out of here. They pull away. Oh my god. So you pull away. herO out of position. The base under fire. Decent storm. Nice storms on the army. The High Templar exposed. Oh my god. Swords away for now. No sword away. Hydras, they dive in. Where are the storms? Yeah, massive storm on the Hydras. They get one Tempest. But the Skyjust army is breaking through. Corruptors are in production now. These are going to be 0-0 Corruptors. But the Corruptors alongside the Hydras should be enough. How many Corruptors is it going to be? 8. 8's going to be 15. 15 Corruptors. That should be enough. It takes down the Mothership. Collapsing on the Tempest. herO, he's all in. He's all in with this army. The High Templar! High Templar go down. No storms. And herO, he will fall here. He will lose everything. The Tempest, the Carrier. We're trickling in the Corruptors, which is less than ideal. Gets one more Tempest. Yeah, it should have enough. There's a Transfuse. 2 Tempests left. Again, with a lot of the Corruptors are going down, though. Up. Gets the Carrier. Barely. Barely takes down. There we go. Takes down both Carriers. Takes down the final Tempest. Whew. And with that, the Skyjust army doesn't exist. Skyjust army is gone. There's one Carrier left. There's a couple of High Templar, a couple of Zealots. Local slaves are coming in. And that was all that herO had. That's all he had left, was that push. And now herO, he should never be able to amass an army as large. As he will lose another Carrier. And again, it all began with this base going down. Like, once the first Nexus falls, then it's like the domino effect, right? Where everything just crumbles one after the other. Also, oh my god, my apologies. I was just so engrossed in the game itself. I don't think I started predictions, or did I? Did I? I think I did. I'll double check. We'll double check. For now, we do get the mineral line. The 18 probe is going to be going down, wreaking havoc in the mineral line. As we mentioned before, like we already had the final fight here from herO. herO just trying to counterattack. He does get an expansion, but he will lose every probe across the map, leading out 25 workers. More links flooding in. Okay, yeah. Predictions have already opened previously. They've since closed. I wasn't too certain. But there we go. Solar and just cleaning up what was left here. Just the remaining Stalkers, remaining expansion. And despite his feelings on this matchup, Solar is going to be able to overwhelm. Gets another 13 workers, takes on both expansions. Oh my god, massive storm. Storm's a pop up. But GG gets called. Yeah, that's all that herO had left. And Solar will take a lead in the series 1-0. Whew. GG. Does take a lead, and again herO, he was doing very well defending and keeping up, but there were a couple of moments where he did slip up when it came to bleeding out too many Stalkers, when it came to being unable to keep up with the Nidus Worms, and again with that first Nexus going down, that did lead into the other expansion. Remember, the natural followed by the center fourth base did mean that herO could not sustain his army, he could not maintain his own production, and in the end was overwhelmed. GG, well played. In the end, he was overwhelmed. And with that, Solar takes a lead. Just catching up. We go. Beautiful. Think Storms are good, carries are not. Carries are solid. Skytoss, it definitely has its strengths in this matchup. In general, has a lot of strengths. Likewise is the favored late game composition, but herO didn't get there. Once again, just to emphasize, a lot of it came down to Solar crippling the economy. He was able to break the natural and break the fourth. Those were the critical moments of the game where Solar was able to maintain momentum and make sure that herO never maxed out. If those bases were kept up and running, then herO could actually not just maintain his Skytoss army, but maintain his ground army as well to support that. But here we go. We're now getting into our next game and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline. We have our red Protoss player. We have our red Protoss himself down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. There's been Tempest Storm for many patches. Yes, Tempest Storm carrier. Typically, you do have like a combination of them. You never see pure carrier. You didn't even see that last game. It was Tempest first. It was 6 Tempest and then like 2 carriers. It's been the case for many patches. But yeah, you never see like, I don't know, like mass carrier or anything like that. Now that we're settling in. Gonna be settling in here so far, getting into our opener. Hatch gas pool out of Solar. Likewise, herO going for the gate, a cyber expand. Here we go. Is building up. And now we get to load into a bit of a different map. It is large, don't get me wrong, it is a large map in the map pool, that is true. But the bases are more exposed. Unlike on Abyssal Reef and Neon Violet Square and King's Cove, these bases are more open. They're much more open here, much more exposed. You can see here the wide entrances towards the triangular third and towards the linear third base as well. So because of that, we have seen a lot of Protoss players struggle to defend, struggle to maintain these positions and defend these locations. We've seen a lot of success from more aggressive styles out of Zerg players here. So I'm leaning towards Solar cutting workers. Last game he did drone up and get into his own 4-base saturation into Swarm Host. Here I do expect Solar to instead switch things up and maybe cut workers at around 66. We'll keep an eye on Solar. We'll keep an eye on him. herO does dip in between the bases, pulling away. It's going to be a Stargate opener out of herO. Putting up Stargates. This time into Oracle. As a reminder, last game herO did open Void Ray. Not this time. This time. See how this game goes. It's going to be Stargate +1 Blink into Storm Mothership. Potentially. A lot of this will kind of be determined by Solar, I feel like. Once again, we're going to be keeping an eye on Solar when it comes to his Eva Chamber timing, his Lair, or his Roach Warren. As I mentioned before, there's a high chance that Solar is going to cut workers this game. So our eyes are mainly going to be on Solar here. Meanwhile, ooh, that is a very early Twilight Council. Twilight Council as the base goes down. Okay, so here he has options. This could be Glaives. This could be Glaive Adepts, as there is no Forge. There's no Forge, there's no +1. Really early Twilight Council. Otherwise, here he does like turning this into Blink, into a 3-base all-in, into an 8k 3-base all-in instead. So we'll see. Is it going to be Glaives or Blink Stalkers? It's going to be one or the other. Oracles, they do head towards the main base. And it is going to be Blink. So really early Blink here from herO. Now, as I mentioned, there is no Forge, there is no +1. We'll keep an eye on the gateway count. Now, with this early Blink timing, herO, the goal is to deny the 4th base, to bring down the 4th, and to keep the pressure up. Likewise, we'll see how Solar approaches this, as he does go for the Roach Warren first. Roach Warren before Lair. So he's not going into Ling Hydra. No Ling Hydra out of Solar. This is going to be Roach Hydra instead. We'll see if he does skip the Eva Chamber entirely. If so, then it's going to be a 3-base all-in. As Lings are going down. Oof. Snipes the Oracle. Oracle does full. Nice Ling counterattack here. Does deny mining. The Oracles are out of position. They do deny mining. They kill the shield battery. Shield battery does go down. Yeah, there's that gateway explosion. We're getting up to 6 gates so far. So a 6-gate setup here out of herO, and we are looking to see if he moves out with a probe for proxy gates for the 3-base all-in. Again, as a reminder, because there's no Forge, there's no longevity in this game for herO. So it's looking like a 3-base 8-gate all-in. We can go up to 10 gates, depending on how herO commits into this. And charge on the way as a follow-up to reinforce. Stalkers, they keep up with the Lings. They move out. Here he's pushing. 4th base is on the way for Solar. Solar going into Roach Hydra. Here he breaks out. Keeping up with those Lings. It's going to be a delayed Forge and gases. Okay, gases are being taken. So herO, he is taking up. He is getting into a longer game. With these early Blink Stalkers, he's trying to trade, but he runs into a wall of Roaches. Gets an Overlord. Does get an Overlord. Decent pickoffs here, but what's important is the soul of the 4th base is getting up. 4th base is getting up and running. Lings out of the wall. The wall's out of wall. Lings, they flood in. Forces the recall. Lings, they get 1 probe kill so far. Nice hold position micro, getting a 2nd probe. So 2 probes. Lings, they get shut down. And even though these Lings don't kill many workers, what's important is that it forced the recall. So now suddenly Solar, he's safe. His 4th base is safe. It's getting up and running. He's building up his Roach Hydra. Now, we mentioned at the start of the game that we didn't expect Solar to drone up his 4th and to go for a 3-base all-in. So far, Solar, he's at 67 workers. He hasn't droned up. He's building up his Roach Hydra. And he's not droning. He's not droning. He's not taking. Not into Hive Tech. Not saturating the 4th base. Yeah, he's going pure Roach Hydra on a 3-base economy. Let's go. So Solar's being hyper aggressive. herO doing something similar as well. Getting a 4th expansion, still being active on the map. Like, we're in a really weird game state where Solar's going for a 3-base all-in and herO's tech is late, so herO doesn't have the tech advantage that he otherwise would have. Like, his Storm is later, his upgrades are late. So there is a window. There's a window in time. Basically, Solar's about to max. He's about to max out on, again, 67 workers. And we'll see if Solar can break herO before Storm. Remember, Storm was delayed. Storm was heavily delayed this game. Stalkers are going down. herO, he's trying to slow down this push and engage ahead of time. So herO's trying to slow this down and engage ahead of time. Solar going for a massive counterattack. So far, Solar, he's holding his own. And here comes that push towards that natural. Zealots, they catch reinforcements. Very nice catch out of herO. Yeah, Hydra's going down. Zealots also Roaches as well. High Templar gets surrounded. Who catches who? Yeah, Storm was barely not ready. So here he takes the fight towards the top side. But Solar, he breaks through those Zealots. herO catching more Hydras. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for herO. As Solar, he has no tech. He has no +2. He has no Hive, no Lurkers, no nothing. Only Roach Hydra. My guy's going for the natural. Oh, catching out almost another High Templar. Solar moving in. herO trying to come in for almost a surround. But reinforcers do catch him. Nice Storm on the Hydras. Yeah, Storm pops off. Catching out the Hydras. Meanwhile, herO gets surrounded. Stalkers are getting picked off one after the other. And it looks like Solar has enough. Solar, he has enough. He breaks through. GG gets called. 0 defensive storms. And Solar, he will take a 2-0 lead. Whew. GG. GG, well played. As with that, Solar does take a 2-0 lead here. Again, a really awkward game as Solar, he was just building up into a 3-base all-in. herO, he was being aggressive early on. Because Solar was all-inning, because Solar was cutting workers, herO, his own aggressive opener didn't really find any damage, and he was punished for it because of that aggression. Everything else was late. Late Storm, late upgrades, late expansion, later 4th base. Everything was delayed in favor of that earlier move out, and with that, did fall on its face. Did fall on his face. Solar overwhelms, and with that, Solar, he's up to it. Let's go. We're getting into game number 3, and we're going to be loading into Neon Violet Square. Neon Violet Square being the largest map in the map pool, so if there were a map to embrace Skytoss, this would be it. Here we go. Go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Neon Violet Square, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss down in the series, but it's a best of 7, so plenty of opportunities to bounce back. We'll see if he can. We have our South Korean Protoss player. It is herO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Team Falcons, leading the series 2-0. It is Solar. And again, Solar, for the time being, he has been dictating the pace of the game. For those that missed out on Game 1 and Game 2, Game 1, Solar, he went Swarm Host, and he was able to pull herO apart and punish him and break him before herO could embrace his full maxed out Skytoss army. Coming into Game 2, 3-base all-in. It was a 3-base all-in from Solar, and he was able to break herO and punish him for being overly aggressive himself. That leads us here into Game 3. And again, herO, he's not afraid to embrace Skytoss, as we saw previously in Game 1, and that's where this game can lead us. Neon Violet Square, again, very large map, long rush distance by ground. We have a pocket 3rd base, we have a defendable linear 3rd as well, we have the center expansion. In general, expanding and maintaining a 5-base economy here is easier on this map. Getting a 6th base, different story. Whether it's this gold or this northern expansion, it is more isolated, is more spread out. Likewise, as opposed to Abyssal Reef, the center of the map is very open. It's very open in the center, so it's very difficult to be aggressive on this map from the side of the Protoss player, as they are very prone to getting surrounded. So that is typically why we often see players rush into Skytoss and rush into, Tempest, Carrier, Storm. So here we go. And we'll see how Solar's going to approach this. Now, when it comes to Swarm Host play, that's not as accessible here on this map. It's not as viable just because there are less kind of locations to abuse, just because there's less cliff faces and kind of less avenues of attack for that sort of thing. Muted play is popular, true. Going into Roach opener into Ling Roach into Mutas is very popular here on this map, so that is going to be an option for Solar to make use of how large the map is. If we were casting SHIN, for example, I would assume 100% Muta play, as Solar does go for the center gold. Bold move. He does rush into the gold base as his 3rd. It's a bold move here from Solar. It is more exposed, more out in the open. We'll see if he can maintain it, as herO will soon scout with the Oracle. So this is going to be the Oracle opener. But now here he does deny the Overlord Scouts, sending him away. Hero setting up her proxy. Okay, you have my attention. This could be a couple different things. This could be a proxy gateway with a Twilight Council follow-up. Yep, Twilight Council. This screams the build that we saw against Serral. For those that missed out, Hero did defeat Serral on El Dorado by going for not a Robo. He went for Glaive Adepts with a proxy gateway. Without a Robo, this does hit earlier. This does hit very hard. And this can overwhelm. Overlord goes down, but it does scout, I believe. Yeah, Solar, he saw the Twilight Council. Big scout here from Solar, but he does know if there's a pocket expansion. Regardless, early Twilight Council is to tell we should be seeing a defensive Roach Warren. Show us those Glaives. Getting up to 6 gates. Yep, Glaives are on the way. Yeah, this is the same build. Same build that we saw against Serral. Building up his gateway counts. Now, the reason why Hero can afford extra gateways with this is because there is no Robo, so he's saving resources there. No Robo, no War Prism. Proxy instead. And again, because Solar did see that Twilight Council, he should be responding with that Roach Warren. There it is. Roach Warren is on the way. This is a bit of a later Roach Warren by Solar, so I am concerned that it's not going to be in time. We'll see. We'll see how much time he can buy as Adepts are warping in. Adepts are reinforcing. Here he gets a revelation. He hides the Adepts. He doesn't want to show his hand too soon. It's going to be Glaive Adepts with a Dark Shrine as well. Ay, ay, ay. Do we see any spores? Okay, there's one spore in the main, one spore at the natural. Now, with these Adepts, if they do snipe any of these spores, then suddenly the base becomes more vulnerable. Suddenly DTs become more viable here. Adepts, they're going to commit. Yeah, they couldn't commit to the Shade. Good positioning. Roach production only just now begun. Lings, they melt here against the Adepts. And here he's going for the Queens. He's going for the Queens. He should get one. No transfuse. And no NG. No NG. He gets one. Queen is going to get all three. All three Queens are going to go down. They have to get the hell out of here. He gets two so far. And the gold base is denied. He denies the gold for now. He's reinforcing. Going for the expansion. He's just killing the base. Why not? He can. Yeah, the hatchery goes down. And remember, this isn't even Hero's final form. He has the Dark Shrine behind this as well. Setting up for his pocket base. Adepts moving in. Well, Hero going for the stasis. Commits to the Shade. He wants the Queens once again. He gets one. Takes down one of the Queens. Takes down a second Queen. A third Queen. He's going to get all four. Potentially. Yeah, there we go. Does target fire. Gets the final Queen. Shades into the main base. From here, he can go for the Spore. Just goes for the Queen for now. Yeah, going for the Spore Crawler. One more volley. Goes down. There's one Spore left. And Shorso's Dark Templar. We don't even need it. we don't even need the DTs as Hero overwhelms, gets into the middle line, and Hero fights back, puts a point on the board. GG. Whew, oh my god. GG, well played. Again, Hero popping off with those Glaives. If you were here at the start of the year, you would know that this is the same build that Hero used against Serral. Hero, he adepted the hell out of Serral. He adepts the hell out of Solar as well. GG. GG, well played. Again, just punishing the greed from Solar. Does punish the gold base. Overwhelms. Snowballs out of control. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into Ultra Love as Game 4. And we have a series, we have it back and forth. Let's go. We have that back and forth. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss fighting back, putting a point on the board. Momentum is on his side. Can he tie things up? It is Hero. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, still leading the series 2-1. We'll see if he can recover and get back control of the series. Representing Team Falcons, it is Solar. Go. Now, I don't expect to see that same build from herO again until maybe like a game 6 or a game 7. herO did do that build twice against several. I say that build. He went for a different kind of glaive up build in that series afterwards. True, it was just different forms of adepts. So that is going to be an option here to herO to embrace adepts at some point. Coming into Ultra Love here, we'll see. We'll see if he goes for it. Ultra Love is a smaller map, a much smaller map in the map pool. And herO may be forced to play more defensively instead. Now, because of the size of the map, we very often see Drop Lord all-ins like German taxis. We see Roach Queen walks across the map as well. 3 base all-ins, whether it's 2 or 3 bases, we have seen a lot of aggression from Zerg on this map. And I feel like Solo will do the same. We saw it from him on Frostline. I'm sure we're going to be seeing aggression from him here on Ultra Love as well. Now, there are a couple of features of Ultra Love that do allow for some more defensive play, specifically the towers. You can knock down the towers and wall this area off. Likewise, you can force field these bridges and try to make a stand in the center of the map instead. There's a ramp coming into the natural. There's a choke point here at the linear third base as well. So there are certain areas where you can make a stand and you can make a defense even with a smaller army, but it is still difficult. Just because of the size and just because reinforcements arrive so quickly. Meanwhile, Stargate opener out of herO. Does open Stargate. And it's going to be on herO to figure out what Soul is up to. Likewise, on us as well. You know, do we go for the early Roach Warren, Eva Chamber, Lair? What's it going to be? So we have our initial hatch gas pool. Solar Force take the unnatural natural. Now this does mean he can spread creep a little bit faster across the map. So this is a double-edged sword here. You can make use of that base. I wouldn't be surprised if herO does open early Blink. I'm referring to like an early Twilight Council before the Forge into Blink, as he takes his third, as that would be a very safe way to play. And then you can also turn that into a 3-base 8-gate all-in. True. Which we have seen herO use a great effect on this map as well. We'll get into it if that's the build of choice. But now just poking in, it's going to be a Void Ray opener out of herO, hunting down the Overlord, denying vision, denying scouting. I haven't watched any tournaments since 2022. Who's the best nowadays? As Ian is saying, like, Serral is the best Zerg player in the world, Clem is the best player in the world, and I would say between Protoss for online events, Max Packs for offline events, herO, they're a little bit more interchangeable. I would say that's the hierarchy of Protoss between herO and Max Packs is a little bit closer between like Clem and Maru, for example, or Serral and Raynor. But I would probably say those are the top 4 players in the world at the moment, being herO, Max Packs, Clem, and Serral. Oh, as all the first Oracle does go down. Nice pick up here from Solar. Meanwhile, we do have the Twilight Council on the way. Twilight Council in the Forge. This is going to be a more standard Twilight Council timing out of herO. Getting into +1 on Blink. Trying to maintain map control. I mean, losing that first Oracle was a huge pick-off already. So, rough loss for herO. And Solar, he's going Lair first. Okay, we have the tech of choice. It's going to be a Lair opener out of Solar. He is not going Ling Hydra. From here, he can skip Roaches and go, I mean, he can go Ling Hydra in a different way and just go Mass Hydra and go for a Hydra timing with the Hydra upgrades. We'll see if he throws down a Roach Warren. Otherwise, it could be Roach Hydra. It could be similar to the Frostline game. But now throwing down the Eva Chamber. And no Roach Warren. No Roach Warren, so we're waiting for that Hydra Den. We're making that assumption. The Solar is going Hydras. herO, he does scout the timing of the lair. He does see the Evo chamber, piecing it together. Likewise, Lings, they get across the map. No shield battery. No blink either. And Lings, they do get us around. They want the Stalkers. He gets one. He might get two. Yeah, 2 Stalkers, 3 Stalkers go down. Massive pickoffs. Lings, they bust into the main. There's that Hydrogen, and again, it's plus on range. Because of the later Evo chamber, it's going to be plus on range. This is an all-in that Solo's quite fond of. I say all-in. I'm assuming that Solo won't saturate the 4th base, and that he's going to be with a very heavy... Oh, never mind. I was going to say very heavy Hydra army. Infestation Pit. We're taking up. Okay. We're macroing up. Let's go. Infestation Pit for Hive, for Lunker Tech, eventually. So we have a game. We have a game. We have a back and forth. herO, he does break down those tumors at least, gaining map control, knocking down the tower. Lings, they slip in once again. The probe, not quite thick enough. Lings, they slip by. herO, he pulls back. And with that fast infestation pits, we can go into a faster Hive, and we can go into faster Lurker Tech. Okay, Solo, you have my attention. Yeah, there it is. Lurkers are on the way. So Solo is going to be more defensive here. Now, this does mean that Solo's going to be vulnerable, so he has to be careful. Stasis is baited out. Solo moving out for a run-by. So far, Solo, he's holding on. herO likewise taking up into charge, into his own Archon production. But herO, he doesn't really know what's going on. Now, what's happening here, I should emphasize this. This is a really early infestation pit. It's earlier than normal, earlier than a standard macro game. So this isn't necessarily a standard game at a Solar. He is rushing into Hive and rushing into Hive Tech Lurkers. So this is a little bit risky. This is risky. This is greedy. But if he can get away with it, he can hit a very strong timing with those Lurkers. As the Hive is about to finish. Here at the 8-minute mark. So again, just really early Hive, really early Lurker Tech. herO has no idea. He hasn't seen the main base or the natural. He's only seen the Ling Hydra. And here come those upgrades. Lurker upgrades are on the way. The first wave of Lurkers are morphing in. And Sola, he's getting away with this. He's getting away with this. herO instead, he's expanding, taking a 4th base, getting into Storm, getting into Charge. And this army that he was working on will be amazing against Ling Hydra Viper even, but against Lurkers, less so. Against Lurkers, you need Immortals, you need Archons, you need that kind of more beefy, robust army on the ground, before eventually going into Skytos, of course. But here he's stuck with a Gateway army. Stuck with a Gateway composition. Again, we're morphing as many Lurkers as we can. herO, he still has yet to confirm. Now, he should notice the lower Hydra counts. That's a little bit suspect. herO... yeah, now he knows. Now he sees. He sees the Lurkers for the first time. And he's throwing down a Robo, which is necessary. Is that his first Robo? Ooh, that is his first Robo, by the way. Decent storms. Lurkers are moving in. They have range. Yeah, Lurker range is done. And Solo, we're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep going. We see a Fleet Beacon now on the way for herO, trying to get into Skytos, into Tempest, into Carrier. But he does need more time. And Solar, he should be a little bit more assertive here, just waiting for his Lurkers. There we go. Now moves out. As he moves out, Zelrama is moving in. herO, he needs Solo to turn around. He needs to buy as much time as possible. Solar, he doesn't turn around. He keeps going. This base is forfeit. Solar, he ignores the main army. He's going for the kill. He's going for the throat. Diving in towards the natural. And we're going for the base trade. Oh, here he turns around. His forces turn back around. Lurkers a burrow. Nice revelation. herO, he's racing back home. The Lurkers are exposed. Oh god, it's not gonna be pretty though. As herO, he just can't push in. He cannot touch these Lurkers, not yet. Stalkers are going down. These are brutal trades for herO. And Solar, he has control of the natural. With that, he's pushing in. herO just trying to catch reinforcements. And again, Solar, he successfully rushed into Hive Tech Lurkers. It was crazy. It was bold. It was greedy. Got away with it. Got away with it. Back at home, there's not enough to really threaten Solar. And Solar's just going for the kill. He's going for the kill. Takes down the natural, pushing into the main, going for the production. herO, he has nothing left. There's just nothing. There's just nothing here. Again, herO punished for his lack of scouting. As he never saw the main, he never saw the natural. Remember, the only time he saw the lurkers was when he was pushing out, when the fight essentially began. So it was a late scout of the lurkers. Solar, he's that much closer to the Stargate. Going for a split push. I do feel like Solar should have a little bit more urgency when it comes to getting on top of the production, but it's fine. it's still okay, kind of. As we get the slow zone, we're running out of Hydras. Charge will say dive in. herO, he's gonna clean this up. Takes down all the Hydras, but he'll lose the base anyway. Yeah, he'll lose the expansion. GG gets called, and Solar will take a 3-1 lead in the series, one game away from taking it all. GG. GG, well played. Whew. Again, Solar does take a lead. Again, a very greedy build here by Solar, rushing to the infestation pit so quickly. As a reminder, I'm pretty sure he threw down that infestation pit once the Hydrogen was thrown down, before he had any kind of saturation on the 4th base as well. So really early pits. If you remember, the hive finished at 8 minutes. At 8 minutes, the hive was already done, and Solar, he was so quick to morph in lurkers to get into lurker range as well. And herO, he had no idea. He had no idea. GG, well played. herO, he gets caught with his pants down, baby. Caught with his pants down. And Solar, one more game is all he needs. Let's go. Showtime was cooking yesterday. He was. Like, Showtime's, yeah, he's a really good player. He's solid. 100%. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of King's Cove, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss himself. Down heavily in the series, one more loss, and the finals are over. The pressure is on. We'll see if he can bounce back and claw his way into the ace match. No more missteps, no more mistakes. One more loss, and that's it. That's the series. We have our South Green Protoss player. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player himself, from the land of South Korea, representing Team Falcons, one game away from claiming the series and becoming our champion. It is Solar. Here we go. The pressure is on as we load into King's Cove, one of the larger maps in the map pool. Very defendable on 3 bases. The 4th base is more exposed, and we have seen a lot of engagements, a lot of aggression at the 4th base, but all-ins are deterred. All-ins are not really favored on this map just because of how large it is. And what I appreciate so far, if you maybe weren't here for the earlier games, if you haven't noticed, Solar, he has gone for a different build every game. Every game of this series, we have gone for a different build. So I'm excited to see what Solar has for us here on King's Cove. I'm excited to see. We've seen a Swarm Host play out of Solar. We've seen, of course, last game rushing into lurkers. We had a 3-base all-in earlier as well, which was on Frostline. Yeah, it was the Roach Hydra 3-base saturation, 3-base all-in. It was on Neon Violet Square where Solar was just getting into his game and he was shut down by the Massglaive Adepts. True. That was on Neon. And what do we have this time? What haven't we seen so far? We haven't seen Muta play. I bring that up just because on these larger maps, if you remember, I brought it up on Neon Violet Square, but the game ended before Solar could actually get into the mid-game. But on maps like Neon Violet Square, Abyssal Reef, and King's Cove, Muta play is viable. So that is going to be on the table. Likewise, Solar, on a larger map like this, he could, I was going to say he could try to play out a standard macro game. True, he could play standard. We have yet to see that. Could try to play standard. I'm not too fond of the idea of the previous build, rushing into lurkers here, just because it's less effective. Again, the advantage of rushing into lurkers is going unscattered and rushing across the map. If you remember, Solar, he didn't fight the main army. He avoided everything and he rushed right into the natural. And he was able to burrow and just end the game then and there. Like, speed was of the essence there for that previous build from Solar. That's not going to work as nicely or as well here on King's Cove. So we'll see what Solar goes for. Likewise, herO setting up is going to be a Stargate opener, Stargate into Oracle. And we're settling in for the time being. Did Raynor retire for good? No. He never retired. What are you talking about? See, did he retire forever? No, he didn't even retire a little bit. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Raynor, he's taking a break. He's taking a break, and he mainly only plays in like big events that he's invited to. Raynor, he never played in online Open Cups. Oh, I say he never played. I guess he played in a couple of ESL Open Cup Asia. Sorry, ESL Open Cup Europes. A couple of years ago, I suppose. But even then, he was never like a regular player in them. But he is taking a break like a lot of players, just waiting for EWC. Yes, he officially retired. Said it on stream 1 minute ago. Oracles, they pull away, getting 4 drone kills. 4 workers go down. Likewise, Forge on the way, getting to a standard follow-up. So far we have nothing too crazy. We do have our tech of choice, Solar. He does go lair first. Okay, first things first. Lair first out of Solar. Lair into an Evo chamber. So far this does look very similar to the previous game. I will say that. Looking similar here from Solar. Adepts stay fed in the shade. Solar so far is keeping up. Adepts, they don't commit. And Solar, he is maintaining himself. Now, as a reminder, part of the reason why herO had a really hard time scouting last game is that he did lose his first Oracle, if you recall. He lost his first Oracle very early on. This time he takes a lot of hits, but he does keep them alive. As herO, he does scout the lair first. Does scout the lair timing. Oh my god. herO, calm down. Does preserve that second Oracle, thankfully. Does keep it alive. Ooh, herO going into his Templar Archives before his 4th base. Rushing into earlier Storm. Okay. You have my attention. Again, this is before the Gateway Explosion as well. He's on 4 gates, now going for the Templar Archives into Storm. Into High Templar. Meanwhile, Solar setting up into the mid-game. We have plus on melee on the way. We have the Hydra Den as well. Going into Ling Hydra. Oh my god. As the stage traps, they just keep on going. Catching up 4 drones, not bad. Oh my god, did I say 4 drones getting half the mineral line? And Solar having a harder time keeping up, being pulled apart here. Nice, taking more damage so far by herO. Getting 8 drones at that 3rd. 12 in total. And I'm curious to see if herO, if he's just playing safe by rushing into Storm, or if he intends to use it. As this Storm timing is much faster compared to the previous game. So very early Storm out of herO. Again, still staying on 3 bases. Meanwhile, Solar building up to Ling Bane Roach Ravager. Sorry, Ling Bane Hydra is what I meant to say. And we see why. herO, he's turtling. herO, he's turtling up. We have the Fleet Beacon on the way. That's going to be for the Mothership. And herO still has not expanded. It's a late 4th base for herO. Throwing down cannons. Throwing down shield batteries. Being very safe. Solar, meanwhile, he does drone up his 4th. Getting it saturated. Yeah, still droning even more. And I'm worried for herO. Right now, basically, herO, if Solar was going for an all-in, herO would be in a beautiful position. Like, Storm would be ready for it. He has all this static defense. Like, herO, he's playing so safe here. And this means that his economy is delayed, right? Like, his economy is delayed, like, his getting into Tempest production, of course, then followed by the Mothership. Getting ready for a longer game state. Solar has map control. Never mind. Solar, he's pushing. He does not fully saturate. Okay, he cut workers at 74. 74 workers, no infestation bit, no hive, no lurkers, pure Lingbane Hydra. Let's go. herO, he's here to break herO. How many storms? There's 4 Templar. Yeah, plenty of storms available. Storms, they pop up, they shut down the Lingbane. Oh my god. Yeah, Banelings, they do not connect, but the Hydras are moving in. And is there a storm left? Yeah, no storms yet. We're waiting on that final storm. Tempests have arrived. Banelings are rolling in. And can Solar break this 4th base? It looks like he barely can. Takes down the final High Templar. But now he's out of Lings. He's running out of Lings. Just pure Hydra. Stutter stepping forward. Going for the Stalkers. And he barely breaks this. He takes out every single Stalker. The expansion is going to go down. And behind, oh my god, the storm does pop up, but the base should fall. The base should fall here. Gets us around, takes out the final High Templar. Sure, there's a Tempest, but alas, Tempest, they can't do much here. The base crumbles, and from here, Solar, he can just drone. He can drone. There we go. Gases are being taken. Spyro's on the way. Breaking this 3rd base is going to be difficult, but the 4th base, it was out in the open. It was out in the open. And remember, all that defensive setup that herO had was to defend his 3-base economy, not his 4th base. As Solar here overextends. Does overextend here. He has to back off, has to calm down. Tempest count is building up. Solar, all he has to do is just back off, drone up, and maintain that lead. There's no rush, Solar. There's no rush. Not yet. He wants the 4th base, though. Does want it. Hydras do retreat. Lings move in. He's going to get us around, and he will force a cancel. Oh my god. Yeah, as we mentioned here on King's Cove, the 3-base economy here is very stable. It's very secure, but the 4th base, it's out in the open, right? It's out in the open. It is more exposed. It gets denied for a 2nd time. Corruptors are building up for Solar. Likewise, he does somewhat saturate his 4th base, getting up to 76 workers. Not bad. Getting up to 76. From here, he could tech up, but he isn't. Bear that in mind. Solar, he's massing up corruptors. He wants to get ready for a 2nd wave. He wants to get ready for a 2nd assault on this base. Solar, he's choosing not to tech up into Hive, not to tech up into any spellcasters or anything like that, not to drone up to 80. He wants to kill. Solar, he wants to kill instead. It is a bit of a risky maneuver, but he should be far enough ahead. Should be. That's a lot of storm. Templar move in. First storm, no major connection. Storm zones away. Solar going for the production, trying to catch out those Tempest. Doesn't get them. Bleeds out Corruptors. Uh-oh. Yeah, Storm and the Corruptors as well. He's going for the dive. He wants a Tempest. He gets one. Barely gets one Tempest. And he might catch the Mothership. Nah, he won't catch it. Mothership does survive. This was a little bit wasteful. This was how many? 7 Corruptors. 7 Corruptors went down for 1 Tempest. So not worth it there for Solar, and herO, he's recovering. He gets his 4th base up and coming. That was a better fight for herO. He is now building up. And remember, Solar, he chose not to tech. He chose not to tech. He chose not to drone. Solar is pretty committed here. Solar, he made that decision, and we'll see if he can pull this off. Coming in for the surround. He's going for the Mothership. Decent storms here on the Lingbane. Storm and the Corruptors. Storm and the Hydra. The storms! Yeah, they're shutting down the Hydras, but looks like there's barely enough to take down the Tempest. Yeah, Tempests are going down. The Hydras, they melt. And it's a very scrappy fight here. 1 Tempest survives. herO comes out ahead. He comes out ahead here. He does preserve 2 Archons, a Tempest, a High Templar, taking another expansion. Solar remaxing with Ling Hydra. And again, Solar, he's still not droning up. He's still not taking either. He's just fully focused on Lingbane Hydra. Solar, he doesn't want a late game. Like, that's what this tells us. Like, Solar, he doesn't want the game to slow down. He doesn't want to play against Skytoss. It's like, get me out of here. Oh, gets a High Templar, not bad. Takes down a High Templar. Storm on the Hydras. Oof, brutal connection. Can he overwhelm? No more storms. Takes down one of the Archons, but here come the reinforcements. And herO should hold. Yeah, here he's going to hold. He's going to shut this down. GG gets called. The all-in fails, and herO fights back, putting a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played, herO. He does bounce back. Again, Solar, he was completely all-in. Just as a reminder, he chose never to tech up, never to build up into any form of greater tech, or even drone up either. He did stay on 74 up to 76 workers, and just was all-in. He was all-in. And initially it was well. Initially things were going well. He was able to kill the 4th base and even force the 2nd cancel. But the moment that Solar he dove into the main base, that's when he lost momentum. I'm referring to the moment when he tried to catch reinforcing Tempest. And if you remember, he lost 7 Corruptors. He lost 7 Corruptors for 1 Tempest. And with that, I mean, again, he kind of lost a little momentum there. He lost that Corruptor advantage. And then here he pulled off the defense. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into game number 6. Let's go. herO, can we force the ace match? Can we go all the way? We go. Oh. what just oh, tie? Let's go. what just happened? As looks like we may have lagged out or something there. It's a rare sight. That's we're getting ready for our next game. It's all good. We're just remaking. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Solo win's not even. Straight up tie screen. Let's go. Oh, just making sure. Making sure everyone gets invited. I don't get why you say that 75 workers have to kill in the 4th base. If I didn't make it clear, again, Solar, clearly he didn't want the game to slow down. He didn't want a macro game. He wanted to kill herO. Like, very clearly, he didn't want the game to slow down and get into, like, a drawn-out, like, split map scenario. I do agree that he did have the option to just macro out of it. If he wanted to, he could just drone and tech up. He did have that option, but he chose not to, right? He chose to commit to the all-in. Didn't want to get into the late game. Which, I mean, Solar has been very vocal that he's not very fond of late game EVP. I mean, as you can see in this series, we haven't seen it, right? Like, we haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen, like, a proper, like, late game EVP between these two players. Just catching up. Oh, okay, we're good. We are good to go. We're jumping into our next game. Sorry, our players, they just needed a moment. They did need a moment to themselves. I don't blame them. It's been a long series. It's been intense. Solar, he was asking for a moment of reprieve. And now we're jumping back in. Jumping into El Dorado. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, fighting back and 1 game away from forcing the ace match. Can he go the distance here? Can we get a game 7? The pressure is on. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Blue Zerg player, the Blue Zerg representing Team Falcons, 1 game away from claiming the series and becoming our champion. It is Solar. Here we go. As here he does force the unnatural natural, does block the second base location. So nice little start here for herO, and welcome one and all to El Dorado. El Dorado is one of the more unique maps in the map pool. I mean, there's a reason why we've waited until here at Game 6 to feature it. Of course, we have El Dorado map. We have the gold bases. We have the gold bases in the center. We have 3 gold bases in total, of course, and they can come into play. In ZVP, it can be very risky to expand towards your opponent, as the rush distance by ground gets reduced heavily reduced, and we do see a lot of all-ins if that occurs. I'm referring if Solar takes this triangular third base or takes the gold as a third or as a fourth. Based on the expansion pattern though, Solar, he is going for a linear expansion and he will avoid the gold for the time being. So we have a more standard expansion setup. We'll see if herO starts mining through those middle patches anytime soon. Otherwise he'll also go for the linear third as well. So depending on how the players expand, you can be either more aggressive or more defensive, depending on where the bases are being taken. Players are going to join up. I don't think we'll see a proper ZVP between any player who is in Cyril. Most Zergs don't think playing Zerg ByuN mid-game is optimal. In general, I would agree for Solar. I mentioned this before. If you've been watching the CranKy Ducklings, I mean, if you've been watching Solar for the past month, you would know that he purely all-ins, or he never like plays standard into the late game. He's always either going for 2 or 3 base timing attacks. I mean, hey, we even saw it last game where he did run up to 74 workers, but Solar, he had no intention of a longer game, right? Like he was fully intent on killing herO then and there. That's typically how Solar approaches this matchup, and he's found a lot of success. I mean, again, for those that maybe weren't watching the Monday Night Weeklies, but Solar did recently, sorry, not Monday Night Weeklies, Hub Cup, that's it. Solar did recently beat Max, he beat Max, he beat herO as well. Like, Solar has been quite successful with these aggressive builds, and you can even see it in this series where Solar is ahead, like he has a lead, and you can definitely see a world where if this series was shorter, like a best of 3 or a best of 5, the Solar could have taken it here, again, with these more unique builds. Just again to emphasize, Solar, he has done a different build every game so far. Has been a different build, a different composition, different style, which I do appreciate. But now we're getting into El Dorado, and we'll see how herO approaches this. See how it does approach it so far. Stargate. It's going to be a Stargate opener out of herO. Oracle's moving out. herO does dive into the main, getting a drone kill, getting 1, getting 2. Some decent pickoffs initially. Nothing major. Nothing too wild. herO also will take the linear third base. Again, no one has taken the gold. Not yet. Both players are expanding away from each other. So some safer expansions here by herO and Solar. Safer setups. Well, nice round. Adept goes down. Oracles, they try to catch some transferring workers, and they go for the Queen. There is no transfuse, but the Queen does survive. They get 1 drone. Ooh, and herO takes a lot of hull damage. Gets to get the hell out of here. Getting 3 drone kills in total. Takes a lot of hits, but does get away. Ooh, does pull away. Behind this, Twilight Council Forge. This looks like +1 and Blink. Standard follow-up out of herO. And again, our eyes are going to be on Solar. Do we go Lair first? Eva Chamber? Roach Warren? What's it going to be? It is going to be Lair first here out of Solar. Going for the initial Lair. Likewise, Roach Warren gets thrown down. There's no Eva Chamber, so no +1 melee. Oh, likewise, Oracles, they hit the natural. Sorry, they hit the third. 2 more drones. Honestly, pretty good damage. Overall here, it's been how many? 7 drone kills. 7 drones, 6 lings. Very nice pickoffs out of herO. The Oracles are low, but they're still alive. They're still alive. When it came to the early days of this map pool, was the Oracle takes a lot of hits. We did see quite a lot of German taxis on this map. That is going to be an option, as the Oracle is barely going to escape on how many HP? 9 HP. Get the hell out of there. The gases are being taken. We have our 2 gases here at the natural, likewise 2 gases at the third, gases here in the main, and for the first time this series, if you recall, I was alluding to Spire play on King's Cove and on Neon Violet Square. We didn't see Spire play on those maps, so we see it here. It's going to be Roach into Mass Gas into Mutas. Let's go. For the first time this series, Solar is going Muta. And more importantly, can he hide this? Can he keep this hidden? Can he keep this secret and safe? Oh boy. Because if Hero scouts this, he can shut this down by going to Phoenixes, by building up his Blink Stalkers. Oracles, they do catch a couple of transferring workers. 2 drones going down, going for the Queen. Queen does fall. Hero, he does get into the main. He sees, he knows. Gets Revelation just for good measure. He confirms. Hero, he's aware of the Spire, and Solar, does he cancel? At this point, he might just let it finish. The Spire has been spotted. I mean, again, it can be quite difficult to get away with Muta play. Hero back at home, throwing down side defense, cannons, shield batteries, checking his vision. Spire's finishing up. And Hero, he does move out. Solar, he has purely links for defense. He did skip his roaches. Solar, he's vulnerable because of the mutas. And Queens are going down. Yeah, Queens are going down this base. It's going to fall. Adepts, they distract the Lings. Getting 1, getting 2 more Queens. Going for the expansion. And the reason why Solar can't save this base, or why he's struggling to save the base, is because of the muta play. As that's where all the gas was spent. Stasis goes off. Muta's going to be forced to be defensive, and they struggle defensively here against these Stalkers. Yeah, so a strong push here from Hero. All because he scouted the Spire. Mutas are going down, Lynx as well. And Solar's hurting. Solar, he's hurting, and Hero, he just reinforces. He just keeps rallying across the map, takes down the expansion, shuts down the 4th base. And the Mutas, they're trying to come in. They're doing what they can, but they're on their own. Lynx, they do come in to reinforce. Here come the Oracles. The Oracles, they focus down the Queens. Ooh, Oracles go down. And Solar, he holds. He's barely holding. Oh, it's expensive though. Very expensive. More mutas getting picked off. Ay, ay, ay. The Mass Stalker is overwhelming. Yeah, good defense is a solid offense. As Hero, he just punishes. How many mutas are left? 7. Down to 6. 6 mutas remaining. Against 17 Stalkers. Ay, ay, ay. And Hero, he just keeps going. He just keeps reinforcing, keeps pushing. And this was Hero's answer to the mutas. It's like, hey, if you're going mutas, you just can't hold. You just can't defend against this. It's not going to happen. And hey, he was right. He was right, and we're going to the ace match. GG gets called. Hero, he will tie the series 3-3. We're going to game 7. Let's go. Let's go. Going to game 7. Oh, sorry, I had the wrong score out of game. But we're going to game 7. We're going to the ace match. Let's go. Lings overrun. That's what the Oracles are for. That's the power of like the Oracle opener, is that the Oracles do keep these Stalkers safe with stasis traps and with their pulsar beams. Which is, again, also why Hero did move out when he did. It's time for it's time for a 12-pool drone pool. Let's go. Let's go. The final game is going to be on Ley Lines. Okay. Ley Lines, one of the more standard maps in the map pool. It's not as extreme as King's Cove or Abyssal or Neon Violet Square. It's not as small as Whispers of Gold or even El Dorado. But here we go. We're getting into that. Oh. Getting into the ace match. Do you know where Rogue is? Rogue, he still competes. Rogue, he most recently competed in... Did he play in Lily Cup? Lily Cup 36? But Rogue, he is like a... I would say a part-time player. where Rogue, I believe he has other commitments. I think he has another profession, if you will. But Rogue, he like plays every now and then. He plays every now and then. He's still quite good. He's still quite strong. But he doesn't like dedicate his time to playing in all the open cups like players like herO, ByuN, Solar, Clem, MaxPax. Like Rogue, he dips in every now and then. But still active, and you know, still playing in tournaments. He played in the Lily Cup. He also played, I want to say, was Rogue in the Pigsty Festival? Seeing that as well. He was in the Rex March Madness, true. But here we go, we're getting to our next game, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, forcing the ace match. See, things were looking dire, Papi. herO, he was down in this series, so it was almost out as well, but he has clawed his way back in, and we'll see if he can take it all and pull off that almost reverse sweep. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Team Falcons. He had so much momentum, he was so far ahead, but alas, loss after loss here. Can he bring it back? It is Solar. He's been so close for so long. Hatch gas pull, herO being so annoying, actually. herO just being as annoying as possible with that probe. Does force some inefficient mining. And even forces one of the drones off the mineral line. So we are settling in. Here we go. Likewise, herO is settling in. Coming into this game, I don't expect to see mutas again. Like mutas, they're a very niche build, and as you saw, like if mutas get scouted, if the Spire gets spotted, then the Protoss player, if they're good enough, and herO more than is, they can just punish it and shut it down real fast and real quick. So once in a series is what we limited to. Now herO, he pulls away. And we'll see how we open up. Meanwhile, Stargate opener out of herO. Does open Stargate. Into most likely Oracle. Now, we have seen Stargate into Glaive Adepts already here in this series. I believe that's what we saw on Neon Violet Square, if you remember. Where herO, he went, was it 6k Glaive Adepts? It was crazy. But that was also on Neon Violet Square. That was a more specialized build for that map. Specifically because Solo is being greedy. But always an option. Always something to bear in mind. As herO does pull away. Oracle was in production. Now, when it comes to ley lines, when it comes to the map itself, I should emphasize, it has a bit of a longer rush distance by ground. I mean, again, longer than some of the smaller maps. It's a little bit middle of the road. The third base is a little bit more defendable. We do have a ramp coming into the third. Likewise, we have some points of elevation here at the fourth bases as well. So because of that, we often do see some more standard mid-game here on ley lines. We haven't really seen much standard back and forth yet in this series. It's been very intense and very chaotic. We have had some longer games, but we haven't got there in the most standard of fashions. We could get there here, though. Like, for example, technically we had a long game on Abyssal, but that was Stormhost play at a Solar, just like non-stop knocking down the bases of herO. Likewise on Ultralove, Solar, he rushed into Lurkers. Rushed into Lurker Tech and caught herO off guard. What do we have this time? As the second Oracle does move out to meet the first. Behind this, Forge into Twilight Council, standard follow-up out of herO. But once again, I feel like we're mainly looking at Solar. Like, again, he's done something different every time. Queen getting caught out. No transfuse. Nice pick off. Takes down the Queen. Doesn't really take much hull damage. I spoke too soon. Gets up popping off. Getting 3 drone kills so far. So 3 drones on the Queen. Not bad here from herO. Pulls away. Getting his third base up and running. And we'll see if Solo goes for that Lair. There we go, Lair first. He's been very fond of this. We've often seen Lair first builds out of Solar. Last game, this led into Mutas. We don't expect to see that this time. No shot. Not this time. Most likely into Roach Hydra. As it's a Lair alongside the Evo Chamber. Typically, this means +1 range, typically. Let's see if that's the case. So Oracles are forced back. Gases are being taken. Oh! Ooh, as the first Oracle does go down. Nice pick-off. Yeah, herO overextends. And show us that upgrade. Gases are on the way. That's a lot of gases here for Solar. No Roach Warren. So with the completion of the Lair, this should be Hydra Tech. Yep, there we go. Hydra Den is on the way. So rushing into Hydras. Skipping Roaches. Things are keeping up. They get a surround. Not bad. Oracles, they will support the Adepts, but alas, not enough. The Adepts do get cleaned up. And there's that +1 range. Again, usually it's melee if it's the Evo Chamber before the Lair. That screams melee. If it's after the Lair, screams +1 range. That is once again a very fast Infestation Bit. 620 timing here with the Infestation Bits. This looks like the same build that we saw in Ultra Love. True. So really fast pit into most likely really fast Lurker Tech. Okay. So we've seen this before. You know, herO pushing in. Let's chip away at the 4th base. Ling Hydra is amassing. Bearing in mind that Solar did skip Roach production, so it's going to be a bit of a more difficult defense here early on. Solar did cut corners. Hydra's going to be going down. He gets 1. Behind this, herO expanding, getting his 4th. Still pushing in. He wants more Hydras. Gets 1. Gets another Hydra. Every Hydra counts. Meanwhile, Infestation Bit is done. Here comes the Hive. Here comes the Lurker Den. So this is the same build that we saw in Ultra Love. So he's rushing into Lurkers. Leading out another Hydra. Nice Picos by herO. herO taking towards Storm. Temple Archives on the way. Temple Archives after the 4th base. So herO, he will have a greater economy. Still reinforcing, applying a lot of pressure. I do actually like this for herO because every Hydra that goes down weakens the Lurkers. It means that there's going to be that many less Lurkers to defend or to move out. So Solar, he has to preserve those Hydras as they're going down. Yeah, Hydras are falling. Solar going for a massive link counterattack. Does force the defensive warp in. Oracle goes down. But herO, he's punishing Solar here. Yeah, here he's breaking through. He's breaking through. Solar a little bit too greedy this time, and herO, he punishes that greed. He blinks on in, breaks through the Lings, and breaks through most of the Hydras. Boys are being pulled. Solar, he's in trouble. He's being broken. Solar's being broken. herO, this time he's not passive. He's not passive. He does punish. He breaks on through, takes down the mineral line. And herO, the comeback is real. He was down 3-1, by the way. He was down 3-1 in this series. And he brought it all the way back to the ace match. He dives on the army. There's just not enough here left. There's not enough here. Despite the Hive, despite the Lurker Den, 0 Lurkers to defend. As Solar, this time he gets punished. 15 drone kills. Solar, he's barely holding on. He does force back. herO does force him back. Whew. But again, the economy is heavily in favor of herO. The base is almost dead, actually. Here comes the first Lurker. That's all we can afford. 1 Lurker, baby. 1 Lurker in a dream. There we go. 2nd Lurker's on the way. But herO's not stopping. He's not stopping. He's pushing in. Again, he's so close to breaking the base. Gets a revelation. He spots the Lurkers. Yo, can Solar stabilize? If he can build up that Lurker count, he can slow down the game. Oh god, that's a lot of Zealots. It's a lot of Zealots. herO, he needs a revelation though. There we go. He has the Observer. Yeah, he has the Observer. He's fine. There's a revelation. Blinks on in. Takes down one of the Lurkers. He gets 1. He gets 2. There's 1 Lurker left. 1 Lurker remaining. Yeah, and Solar, he couldn't stabilize. He could not stabilize. He was hoping that maybe there'd be a little bit more time. The base goes down. I mean, the supplies are still quite close. herO still has the greater economy. That's what's important here. He has a greater economy. Oh, Immortal getting called out. Nice pickoff. Nice pickoff here out of Solar. Takes down the Immortal. Storm is almost done. We got one Lunker. One Lurker. Let's go. Oh no. Never mind. It's gonna be surrounded. Lurker goes down. Storm on the Hydras. Very scrappy game here in Solar. He doesn't have enough. GG gets called. He is broken, and herO will claim the series 4-3, becoming our first K-Cup champion. GG. GG, well played. Cheeky build here out of Solar, and typically we see these kind of builds once in a series. We now saw it a second time, this time much less successful. This time herO was more aggressive. This time he was more aggressive, he was more assertive, and as we saw, the downside of trying to rush into lurkers like that is that you are vulnerable early on. You are vulnerable, and we saw that herO, he was able to punish that vulnerability. He was able to bust in, took down all the Lings, and the Hydra count never really built up. Because we were bleeding out Hydras, Solar, he was forced to rebuild those Hydras, spend his gas. He did not have a bank to build up any lurker tech. He was up against the wall. He was overwhelmed. Soul was overwhelmed. GG, well played. herO, he will claim the series. Very close, very clutch. It went all the way to game 7. GG, well played. GG, well played. Congratulations to herO, and a shout out to Solar, because as you mentioned before, if this was a shorter series, maybe Solar wins, right? If this was a best of 3 or a best of 5, maybe Solar comes out on top. But coming into the best of 7, herO, he did have a little bit more stamina, more endurance. He was able to keep up with Solar and punish some of the more unique builds of Solar as well. GG. GG, well played. Whew, oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations. And yeah, shout out to herO. When it comes to this event, this is the very first K-Cup. If you're curious, what is K-Cup? K-Cup is a Kanoya Cup. You can actually see the logo under the webcams. There you go. There you go. Kanoya Cup. Kanoya, he is a French caster. He's a French caster. He does cast in French. He does have his own Twitch channel, so do check out Kanoya. He has stepped into the ring hosting his first event. Of course, he's casting in French. He did invite us to cast in English, so big shout out to Kanoya for inviting us and for bringing this all together here. This was K-Cup Korea, the Korea edition, which means we might see a European edition of this tournament. We might see like a European edition, we might see an NA edition. I'm not going to promise anything. I'm not Kanoya. I'm not. I don't know. But you know, I know that he wants to host more events. I know that at least. I know that he's still trying to iron things out, and of course, this is his first time hosting an event like this. So you know, there were a couple of teething issues. We had a lot of walkovers in the first round, for example. So, and a lot of players were a little bit confused about the format as well. So there was that, of course. But yeah, I know that he wants to host more. So yeah. Shout out to Kanoya, and if there is another event, we'll be sure to be there for it. Whether it's another Korean Cup, whether it's a European one, whether it's a North American one, we'll be there. We will be there for it. Otherwise, GG, well played. Again, congratulations to herO for getting first place, Solar for getting second, and Creator and ByuN, they were actually playing off stream because there is a third place match. And I don't think it was being casted, unfortunately. Wasn't being casted, but we will learn the outcome of that eventually. Learn the outcome. As top 3 players are paid out. So, not bad. Not bad. Here we go. Here we go. But otherwise, GG, well played. And with that, we're going to be wrapping up. We're going to be wrapping up here for the time being. If you maybe haven't tuned into the CranKy Ducklings before, bam, you have our weekly schedule here. We do cast on a daily basis. We cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there. We have the content, we have the quantity, and we have a little bit of the quality as well. We just wrapped up with our Tuesday broadcast, but for the first time this week, we are taking a little bit more time off. Usually we do take half a day off a week, but this week we have 2 half days. Wednesday evening and Friday evening, we are taking that time off just so we can actually rest up a little bit, and you know, if we're able to spend time doing something other than just purely casting StarCraft. It's been an intense schedule here for the past couple of years, but yeah, we're gonna try to open things up a little bit and you know, now we can touch some grass. It's crazy, I know. We can touch a little bit of grass, a little bit, for half a day. So so just as a PSA, we have Wednesday and Friday evenings off for the time being. That may change in the future. I know even right now we're struggling with that, in the sense that if we really wanted to, we could cast twice a day every day. Like, there's just so much StarCraft going on, so much content. We are actively turning down events to cast just to keep this schedule going. Like, just we can't cast everything. I'd love to, but you know, sleep is nice, sleep is important. So we do have our current schedule. We're gonna be back here tomorrow morning. We have the Kung Fu Cup StarCraft Evolution Edition. That is gonna be Kung Fu Cup number 4, I believe. We're gonna be covering that via replays tomorrow morning, and we also have Kung Fu Cup number 5 Friday morning as well. We have Code for Giants Cup on Thursday. We have the Pondcast on Thursday, KSL, Hatchery Cup, SDO, STC. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft on the channel as always. And if you see something that you like, or maybe you're hearing, you're like, hold up, you know, maybe we're tuning in for the first time, you know, we like the content, we want to find some of these VODs, then YouTube is the place to be. Exclamation mark socials in the chat. You'll get a link to our YouTube channel, Discord, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all things CranKy Ducklings. We're all over the internet, all things CranKy Ducklings. Again, we do upload on YouTube on a daily basis, so there's plenty of content on YouTube if you're interested. If you see some of these tournaments and if you can't watch it live just because your time zone, or again, like, I don't expect someone to be able to watch StarCraft on a daily basis every single day, multiple times a day. There's just a lot of tournaments going on. If you can't watch it live, then yeah, check out the VODs. Check out the VODs over on YouTube. We recently hit 1 million views on YouTube, so thank you so much to all of those on YouTube for tuning in. And we also recently hit 3,000 subscribers as well. So thank you. Thank you so much, as our channel has been slowly growing over the past like 7 years. So all the content, it's all there. It's all chronicled on YouTube, especially because now VODs are no longer supported on Twitch. So VODs are being deleted on Twitch, so they're all on YouTube nowadays instead. Otherwise, again, our next broadcast is going to be at 9 AM KST. That's going to be 11 AM AEST. That'll be in 10 hours. 10 hours time, we have our next broadcast, so do tune into that. Otherwise, we're going to be heading off for the time being. Oh, no! Yo, shout out to Kanoya in the chat. Big shout out to Kanoya again. Kanoya, of course, he is the organizer of the event, and is a French caster as well. So big shout out to Kanoya. Big shout out. As we're wrapping up, Papi. We're wrapping up. We're just about to wrap up, but thank you nonetheless. Thank you. Gracias. As we are just now wrapping up, and yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Some more StarCraft action. Slash shout outs to Kanoy. And also, of course, support. Thank you. Speaking of, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it as well. Do appreciate it for subscribing. As for now, we are going to be wrapping up, and we're going to be heading off for the evening. Do stick around, as we're going to be raiding another StarCraft channel. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. Who is live at the moment? Who is live? See, Loco is playing Warcraft 3. Who's streaming SE2? Sal. Sal is streaming SE2. He's still doing. Mate, he's been going for a subathon for like 3 months. It's crazy. Crazy subathon for Sal. Otherwise, yeah, we'll raid up a tree. Give him a raid. Give him some love. Give him some support. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys later on tomorrow. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.